Yeah, I've got a problem. I pulled a filling out. Hello and welcome to Not 40, Just Blank, a podcast where we take you back in time through the years and discuss all the weird and wonderful events within it, which we think make it so memorable. Each episode sees us chatting through all the news events, sports, TV, film and music of a particular year, as well as the odd and funny personal stuff we can remember. Come and join us on our journey through the 90s here on Not 40, Just Blank. And we're back, once again, like a renegade master. Hello, and thanks for tuning in to yet another episode of Not 40, Just Blank. This time around, we're going to be whittering on about all things related to 1995. To do this, I'm going to need some help, and look who's shown up right on cue. It's only bloody Rich and Phil. Hello, chaps.
Hello.
Oh, hello, sir.
What's happening? We all right?
Yeah, all good. All
Good, my friend. Good, my friend.
Lovely. Come on, let's get straight on with this, shall we? Right, so it's 1995. It's the middle of the decade. We're hitting the dizzy heights of 17. We're old enough to learn to drive, God help us all. We're halfway through college and we're firmly knocking on the door of adulthood. What a time to be alive. What the hell can we remember about 95? Del, as ever, we're going to defer to you and your superior recall.
Well, mate, I was turning into an angry motherfucker. I was turning into this guy, but before I turned into an angry motherfucker and was going down pretty much a very sort of slippery slope, I dipped my toe in. You know, we was talking about stalking a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah.
I dipped my toe into a bit of casual,
She's here tonight.
Casual stalking. I mean, it was just we use cheeky kidnapping, so you can't really use cheeky stalking.
Casual.
So I'm going with casual stalking.
Okay.
And it was basically a girl that I fancied, who was 2 school years younger than me. And I, when I was at school, I had my chances. I blew my chances with her completely to the point of I can't believe that I messed it up. I was even cuddling her in the same bed. The whole thing. But still,
I'm trying to do the maths here, though. You're 17, she's 15. Is that right?
Let's hope she's an old one of the year.
Yeah, it was.
Officer.
When you point it out like that, that's kind of weird. I've gone all sort of.
It's okay. We're not talking about you now, Del.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Kind of Jerry Lee Lewis type or whatever. I don't want to go.
He's gone. Oh my God! He's gone full scale Alabama.
But the thing was, so she was in her last year of school. Yeah, so she was legal then, so it was totally acceptable. And but I still had a massive thing for her. So, but the thing is, I knew. But the thing is, I couldn't find a way to get back in with her sort of thing. So I thought I would go up in front of her house and wait for her to leave the school in the morning. So what I did was I was on my bike. I got up super early, literally waited for her to come down the road.
Just doing your paper round.
Well, this is the thing. This is where I'm going for. I cycled out. I didn't think things through at all. I had no sort of plan B. I just thought it was going to fall into place. She's going, Rich.
Was she going to sit on your handlebars?
Oh yeah,
and ride
100%.
off together?
We was going to sail off to the sunset, but no, it fucking didn't happen at all. What did happen was she did go all right, Rich. So we started off well. So we were all right, positive. Rich. So it's quite a positive start. And then she went, "What are you doing here?" And I was like,
I got nothing.
I'm doing a paper round. And then she went, "Well, where's your papers?" And that's kind of where it fucking backfired. And I just went bright red. The whole world swallowed me up. And her friend went, "You don't do a paper round, do you? You ain't got a paper round, have you?" I think I was working doing the Southend ticket attending thing at the time. So It was just, the whole thing was just awful. I don't think I ever saw that girl again. I was literally, you know when you build things up.
Yeah.
So that was filling me full of angst, and I think led to a lot of things. This year, I got into a lot of trouble. So first of all, it started off, my mates that I was hanging around with, they were sort of a bit scallywags. They were nice guys, but they were a bit cheeky. Do you remember the first curry you ever went on?
Like a post,
as in going out for a meal.
Post pub type thing.
Yeah, going out for a meal.
Right.
Because you could go for a curry and you could have underage drinks. That's the thing, is because they didn't really check you. You just have your drink sort of thing. And then I remember going for it, and no one briefed me on this. They was just like, okay, right, when they go out there to the end, we'd finished. We had like about, I don't know, 4 pints of Cobra, whatever the fuck it was. Full, like, fucking first ever korma, loads of rice, loads of naan and stuff like that. And they just said, right, when they go to the end, we're going to do a fucking runner. And I was literally, mate, you know when you've had a full curry, beers, you don't want to run anywhere. Yeah. So this was like already, like I say, going into a slippery slope. Yeah. Then, so we started off with stalking, then we're going on like running away from curry houses. I'm not proud of any of this. Then it just goes weird. I started.
It started pretty.
It's quite. Yeah, it's right. But I had my first breakdown at school. This is my second breakdown. And Phil, you'll remember this. Do you remember when a certain Matt Laycock come on the scene?
Yeah.
So it's like a pretty much like a pathological liar. So I would make up all these different things, and so it got to the point where everyone was getting a bit sick of him, wasn't they? And it sort of, we went to the Tar Pots pub, blagged it in, managed to get a sort of drink that night.
This is a man who was about, 8 years older than us, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was 8 years.
Oh, he's like mid-20s.
He was like mid-20s.
He'd come out with shit like, when I was in Chicago, I beat Johnny Depp at pool.
He was just full of it. He was one of them.
That sort of absolute tosh. And anyway, it comes to the head, didn't it, that night? And like 2 of our friends had like a fight with him, didn't they?
Yeah.
And the thing was, for whatever reason, I don't know, right? So I'll put the question to you, Jim. If you was having a fight with someone, how would you break up a fight?
How would I break up a fight?
Yeah. How would you break up a fight? 2 people having a fight. So you liked both of these people.
Yeah.
You one more than the other, but you wanted to break up the fight. You didn't want to see a fight between friends. Yeah. How would you break up the fight?
I'd just say, don't do it. Don't do it for me.
Don't do it for me. Yeah. Okay. Phil, how would you do it?
Emotional work.
Either
or step between,
or you would try and physically just split them apart, something like that.
You'd do that, wouldn't you? You know why, didn't you? So for the listeners, I decided to break up a fight by putting my head through a plate glass window, and it was at a certain estate agent's down by Tar Pots. I put it in. There was metal bars behind it. I pulled my head out, and a big shard of glass in my fucking head. I remember pulling out like the shard of glass, and it was almost like sort of like someone had exploded a bottle of sort of like, I don't know, red wine, whatever.
Here's the question.
Yes.
Did it break up the fight?
It did.
So you were ultimately successful.
It did, but
you could have easily just sort of got your testicles out and just started tugging on them. Just go, look at me, I'm a grandfather.
But the 2 fuckers having a fight didn't end up in hospital. I had to go to hospital. But I did. One thing I learned from that night was that is when you're covered in blood and you're running down the road, people will get out the fuck out of your way, quick, sharp. They seem to move pretty damn quick.
I think that might be a little trial for the next Black Friday or something.
I think it might be, yes. If you want to be a queue,
just running into a shop. Excuse me.
Well, again, I think I've run into the Kentucky as well. And again, like everyone, like fuck this, sort of like get away, blood smeared all over. I look like Terry Butcher against, I think it's Sweden. Do you remember it where we had all the
Caged Tigers,
the whole thing covered in blood? Again, if I'd have wanted to get a mighty double or a zinger burger or whatever big bucket, I could have done it, no problem. It would have been painful, but that was weird. And then when sort of I remember started going to the pink toothbrush sort of a few times.
Yes,
and
clever choice for all of us.
I know, Phil. I can't remember if you was there that night, Phil. I know you was there, Jim.
I was probably asleep.
We had
a lot.
You did.
It was past 10 o'clock.
Yeah, a lot of snoozy times at the things.
You was notorious, weren't you, for falling asleep in?
I enjoyed a good snooze in most places after 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 pints. Yeah.
Well, I remember getting into a fight with these guys again. Like I say, I was going down a slippery slope. I think I was getting into drugs at the time. I don't recommend it, guys. I'm saying, listeners, I'm not building up drugs here, but I was going down that path and stuff, and very angry. And I remember there was a fight. Some guy was like on my mate on the dance floor. I remember sticking up for him, and I remember a fight breaking out. And I remember sort of starting it and finishing it. But I remember me and this guy got kicked out. And I remember when we got kicked out, literally he was standing next to me, and I knew that he was standing next to me, but I just went to him, "What'd you get kicked out for, mate?" And And he goes, I got kicked out for a fight. I was like, oh, okay, like that. And he's like, I was going, yeah, I got kicked out for that as well. Yeah, so, okay, I don't know what that was about. Hey, like that. Again, should have just turned around and just sort of walked away, and it would have been all right.
Count yourself lucky.
He's mate. Like, I've gone through my life being a bit sort of invisible in certain situations. I mean, like
at the bar.
I mean, well, you know when you're invisible, when you repeatedly punch someone in the face and they still don't know who the fuck you are. That's quite.
I think
that's impressive.
Painting the picture of the brush though is very dark in there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So
there, Well, I'm just going on top of my little demons, and I'm giving you a bit of demons. Yeah, I'll have some free demons, listeners. There you go. Have some of my demons, enjoy them, swallow them, digest my demons. But yeah, and then we was outside and like literally talking to the guy I'd just been punching in the face, and then his mate come out and just went, "What the fuck are you talking to him for? He just fucking beat you up."
He was the smart one of the two.
Yeah, and he turned around, he punched me, and then I remember wrestling in Rayleigh High Street with these two guys. Meat wagon, like police come along, took us down there, and I remember, I think it was you and Nozza and everyone.
We came to visit outside the police cell, and I was winding them up the whole way to the Southend police station. So it's all kind of that. So that sort of clubbing sort of thing. Then we was kind of like coming into like the Zeros era and the Tots era. I don't know if you boys like remember any sort of like highlights from there. I mean, highlights is a strong word to paint for two of the tackiest clubs going, really, weren't they?
Let's 100%.
But there was some good times. I met my missus there.
Well, yeah, you met your missus as well. And do you remember, though, you probably would never had this, Jim, because you always looked old, haven't you? You've always sort of managed to... No, as in, you've...
I think we can all agree.
You've always been... you've already carried it off. I was proper baby-faced assassin, all that sort of nonsense. But do you remember, like, what the bouncers would do back then? Like, if they would test you on your date of birth. Yeah. So they would ask you, and if you got it wrong,
the infallible test.
It's like ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah. Like now, you have to be 18. Like proper passported up, all that.
Yeah, but that was great. Well, that's what I used to love about that.
Did you flap or did you?
No, I had one. I used to go to the brush with someone who was a year older, so they were old enough and they looked old enough. So I used to borrow. And again, I was the same. I looked really young, and so I used to be the one to borrow his ID. And the weird thing is, he had like 3 middle names. Oh, really? I remember it was like his middle names of Ronald, Ryan, James, plus his first name and his last name.
I mean, that's a lot.
And I was just like the worst thing, the worst idea I could have nicked was someone. So I had to memorise all of that.
Yeah. And you couldn't have known someone called like Mark Smith.
No.
Just
And I did. I memorised it already, and I got it all spot. And then he asked me like a question like date of birth backwards. But you're bricking it in the queue, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're in your head, you're like going over the whole passport.
It was like going back to your
date of birth was that
GCSEs again. It was always like, oh my god, I've got to remember everything. Date of birth.
It was scary.
Middle
name. It was great. Yeah. Like I said, I hate to do it now.
When you made it in, though,
photo ID.
When you made it in, it felt like
the elation.
What like the guys, the soldiers must have felt like in Troy when they finally got in. It must have felt like fucking hell.
I can't believe this thing's worked. Exactly, this massive horse has worked.
This is ridiculous. So I used to. The other thing I was. Do you remember? Do you remember going for the grind? Does that mean anything for you?
No. I would assume that is at the looking for a midnight princess.
Yes. Yeah. So you go up to behind the girls, and you literally like clamp on, and you do a bit
Hands
of
a
hip wiggle, a bit of a grind.
Yeah.
And they turn round, and it could be the most like it's almost like thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yeah.
If you was good, if they liked the look of you, you had moves or whatever. You was in. They gave you a window, didn't they?
Yeah.
But if not, it was the most soul-destroying.
Don't remember a lot of windows.
I got a funny story, like similar thing for that. Yeah, where I was again at the toothbrush and
not the home of the grind,
the home of it, and I was at the bar with my now wife at the time, girlfriend, was at the bar, and she was she went, I'm going to go to the toilet. So she went to the toilet. So I'm at the front of the bar. I'm leaning over and I'm waiting to get served. And then these pair of hands come around my waist.
Yeah.
And I assume it's her, so I grab hold of him, and then I don't know, 10 seconds or so, and then I turn around and it's another bloke, and he just goes, "Sorry, I've got the wrong person."
And are you still in touch?
Yeah, exactly, mate.
It was hilarious.
He's coming for Christmas.
Your life journey could have had a complete sort of change of plan there, mate.
It was funny. But
Imagine
he was just as shocked as me, though. He was just like, "Oh, sorry, I've got the wrong person."
Well, I don't know. I mean, sort of like a lot of people won't realise now, younger listeners and whatever, because you used to be able to smoke, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you used to be able to smoke, so you'd have ashtrays spotted all around.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, and like you had, like now, sort of everyone's, like, especially in this country, everyone's treated like children, aren't they? Facts of, like, we have to have plastic glasses. You go anywhere else in the fucking world, people are still allowed to have glass.
Because you're unlikely to throw them at each other.
We're like children, aren't we? We have to be treated like children because we can't help ourselves. But yeah, like the fights that would kick off, like the full-on bottles. It was like what sort of Wild West, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like someone if someone got hit by an ashtray.
Oh man,
mate.
It's just the noise and the
And
the
you would
instant
see
claret.
regularly, wouldn't you? Like people being streamed out, a bit like how my head was looking on that.
Completely.
Sort of.
It's just when fights happened, they happened properly.
That was
Alcohol on glass.
I still to this day, I know this on a podcast and that, but I'm still to this day, I can't bring myself to tell my mum what I had. So I put my head through a plate glass window. And
So what does she think happened?
I told her that me and my mate were having a drunken wrestle, and I tripped up, and I just happened to put my head through a plate glass window. And then she felt so guilty. She was like, "I'll give you the money to go down there and replace the window." I was like, "No,
Oh, really? I'll take a lot off you, Mum, but not this time." Yeah.
I remember seeing Fran outside. I think she was tucking into like some sort of Kentucky, and she just went, every time she sees me, she calls me by my both names. She was like, "Oh, hello, Richard, hello." Like as if it was like sort of just break time at school, and I was just covered in blood. "Oh, hello, Richard, hello."
What have you done to your hair?
Yeah, exactly.
You had another brick.
I had another brick. Yeah, apart from that,
I love it. Apart from that, I've got nothing.
Oh, what I have got down here,
apart from nearly severing the major arteries in my head.
Well, yeah. I remember Zero said, "Well, I took my first like ecstasy tablet." Again, like I'm not condoning the use of drugs and all that stuff, but I just I remember we went through it, and I remember sort of like taking it in the tar pots. I remember coming up, and it felt like I had like gel on my hair and all that stuff. I thought, "Oh, this is great." I didn't realise till I looked in the mirror, like a fucking like what a twat. I looked like bulldog chewing a wasp type chin and all that business. But I remember going in. I thought I was all this the business and all this. You remember talking to mates and like saying, "Oh, let's be best mates forever." Like you talk to a stranger, "Let's be best mates forever. Let's start a business together." All this sort of crap you'd like hone in. And I remember going there thinking I was the business and that, and then walking in, and I remember slipping over by the urinals, and my whole shirt got covered in piss.
It's a real leveler, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know about you, but you can't grind after you got covered in piss.
There's no grinding.
There's no grinding back, mate.
I believe that's one of the rules.
Yes.
Covered in piss, don't grind.
Pretty much. But the only last thing I've got is a story from that year, and I think it's great. I can't mention the people, but it was involves.
This start, that is.
I mean, this
not even me.
Scares me.
It's not even me.
Can we get the lawyers on this one?
Yeah, exactly. Lawyers might want to come in, but basically there was a house party, and there was a bit of a menage a trois going on, a threesome. The light was off. Two of the guys were going at it with one girl, and it was getting heated and stuff like that. It was going all nice. There was some neck kissing and sort of like hand rubs.
You sound like you were there.
No, this is the legend. I was filming it. I was filming it for the adult channel. I know, yeah. It does sound a bit creepy. But anyways, one of them turned on the light, or someone who was in the room come in, turned on the light, and it basically the two of the boys were kissing each other's neck.
Splendid.
The girl
who
was
shared this story?
Huh?
The one that turned the light on. I'm guessing the two that were doing it. Wanted to keep that to themselves.
I'm not too sure if they care, but I don't know if they want it mentioned on a podcast. But yeah exactly. But
it's a nice story even without a name. It's fun.
That's the memories. And just one thing pops into my head. We didn't really talk about it last year, but do you remember Les Fuller?
Yeah,
from Trident. Do you remember that football team?
Yeah.
Do you remember how Les used to speak?
Yeah.
come on, boys, 2 times around the pitch. It's like everything. It's go, oh, come on, boys, 2 times around the pitch. It's the most nasalest voice I've ever heard.
But his system was as well minutes on the pitch rather than if you were better. So he used to keep a notepad of every person in the team.
It was the most
and he would
fairest
calculate how many minutes you're on the pitch.
So, I mean, he is groundbreaking because that is what they teach you very much on the FA coaching now.
It was
not
it's all
then,
about development.
Not then. It was, but this team as well. This team was like, it was bizarre because they were all our friends. You had probably half a dozen good players.
Yeah.
And just
the rest
not even just medium. It was like the other end of the spectrum. It was just like
possibly on the spectrum.
But they were your mates. You didn't care. It was just like it was a laugh. But the annoying thing is, like you come up against a team you could beat, but he would beat that. He would make sure it was all the worst. Like they're on the pitch.
And do you remember? I remember this. I remember doing a training session. I remember we dropped acid at a training session, and
so you took it properly seriously.
Oh yeah, definitely. Right. And but I remember it was in Appleton. We had training at Appleton, and I remember Les had an incident with Rick, I think, but it's just the way. Like I remember coming up on acid, and like Les explaining to what Rick said to him, and he just went, "It goes, Mr. McCartney coming to me. Anyway, I'm gonna nut you. I'm gonna bloody nut you." And it's just like the moment. And on acid, mate, I was just like, I remember just crying, weeing with laughter. It's just funny. And then I remember leaving that night. I remember walking around the streets with Nozza. Nozza like happily walked around the streets with me.
P-Noz?
P-Noz. P-Noz wasn't doing acid. He was looking after me. And I remember going to Michael Cochrane's driveway, and he had stones. And I remember just picking them up and putting them in my mouth. And because I thought they were pick and mix, I was that sort of like,
I seem to have lost half my teeth.
Just like going around, just mental. So yeah, there you go.
The drugs don't work.
After you, Weldy.
P-Noz,
Help yourself.
Chew on that gravel. I'm talking to the nice people.
I was getting people's letters out of the mail, but I was such a cunt, like chewing them, and just mate, what a prick. So like literally, yeah. So it took me about another year or two before I got saved, I think. So
found God.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Jesus saves, but
I didn't find God. I found P-Noz.
The devil's there to
I found P-Noz.
Some would say the same.
Exactly, mate. Yes.
Some would say the same person.
No, there you go. So that's that's the recollection I have, guys.
No, I mean the only things I've got, obviously, touching on that as well is obviously we finished college.
Oh, what, stalking?
Finished. No, I don't think I went down the stalking stage.
No.
In '95, you finished college. How did you do that?
Yeah, we finished college, didn't we? I only did a year.
Me too.
Yeah,
that's why you finished college.
I think I dropped out.
Yeah, I can't remember if I dropped out if I was just resitting maths.
Oh, maybe that's what it was then.
I think you did maths, didn't you?
Yeah, I was resitting maths and doing something else, but I think I might have dropped out. I can't remember. I didn't really get on the CV.
I didn't really get it. I just chose a subject just for the sake of it, leisure and tourism or some shit.
I remember that being a really hot summer. That was ridiculous. I remember April was ridiculously hot.
That was the first year I got burnt.
We was all in college.
Crisp.
I remember the field area, everyone was just out there every day. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, just games of football that went on for hours.
Yeah, it was. I remember just being really hot.
As a beetroot. Yeah,
like really early on. Like April for being hot was quite rare.
Yeah,
it was like mid-July in April. Yeah, it was bizarre. I remember that. The other thing is club art.
Okay.
I know we spoke about clubs, but club art was my first club.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
Tuesday night rage.
Tuesday night.
Rage night, pound a pint. Oh, it was horrible. I mean, it
comes to something when it's a step down from the brush.
Oh, it was
for like cleanliness and.
I remember going in the toilet once and it was just full of puke, like the sinks, and it was disgusting.
Yeah.
But I used to go every Tuesday night.
Couldn't help yourself.
Pound a pint.
Absolutely.
Like you say, you only needed like 10, and that was it. I can't remember how much it was to get in. It couldn't have been much.
Bunk the train on the way up.
It was great. So I used to do that, and then I remember like a friend going, "Oh well, if you like club art, you'll love this place, the Pink Toothbrush."
Oh.
And I was like, nah. I was quite happy with club art then. I was like, nah.
It can't get any better than this.
No, that's what I thought.
Have you seen the sinks?
That's what I thought.
They're absolutely full of mulligatawny soup.
I'm not going to
delicious.
He kept hassling me, going, "No, honestly, you'll love it. You love it." And anyway, I went to the brush and Yeah, that was it. It changed my life.
Changed my life.
It was absolutely the brush was
To the point that I moved to Rayleigh specifically for that club, and then went there once. Realised I was quite old.
Well, the toilets were like the toilet. You know the famous scene in Trainspotting, isn't it, where you died the worst toilet in Scotland.
Worst toilet in Scotland,
that sort of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sticky carpet. I've gutted that. Apparently they've lost the sticky carpet.
The smell of desperation and just cigarette smoke.
But it's still going, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still going.
It's great. It is a great place.
We still
amazing.
And bizarrely enough, and this sounds really weird now I'm saying it back, considering about 2 or 3 episodes ago I was talking about dumping girlfriends just for going out the road, but I actually met my wife.
Wow.
This year in '95 at the Pink Toothbrush.
There you go, man. You got lots to owe that club.
That sounds bizarre that I'm saying that.
That club owes you.
Yes,
I mean, you owe that club.
I owe that club. Yeah.
Damn
that club. But no, that was great. Yeah, and for many years we all did, didn't we?
It was great. Yeah.
I think Friday nights, Saturday
nights,
up there all the time. Pretty much. It was
a home from home.
There were some stories there. That was great.
That's
It was definitely club art. The toothbrush and tots.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Nos.
Yeah, I only really
you guys were a bit more.
I only really ever went tots for like birthdays or something like that. I wasn't really into tots. I liked it, but
you knew you could basically go there on your own if you so desired and meet just enough people there to spend the whole evening.
The party night melodies, you'd have like
I used to like
the Friends theme tune.
They'd
do jump. They'd do a Grease medley, wouldn't they?
Always.
That was the only bit I liked, like an hour of it.
The Grease medley.
Summer loving.
Phil just used to turn up at like 1 o'clock in the morning and then just go home.
Phil just grabbed Claire and just like,
come on,
Zuko.
This is our bit.
Come on, Sam.
Went out to the car park.
We had everyone just.
This is systematic.
No, you just used to fly off into the sunset.
Oh, do you the other thing with tots? Do you remember Heap of the Week?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Do you remember and Noz's car?
Yeah. So that was so someone from the club would take a camera into the car park and find the shittiest mobile in there, and then that person would get, what was it, like
they got a free
bottle of champagne.
Champagne.
Let's call it cider. Let's call it what it was, fizzy cider.
It was the same shit they used to give you for your birthdays, and you get the birthday tickets come through the post. I remember that.
Yes,
absolutely. Like you could dish them out like as if you thought you was
the
like
absolute
amazing.
king. And there's 450 people in that club, and they've all got birthday tickets because it basically gave you a bottle of champagne.
But it did make you jump the queue.
It did. So that's very true.
You could cut,
and you didn't have to worry about the fake ID at that point because you had birthday certificates.
Yes, exactly.
It's basically you're free go.
You're free to go in.
Yes. Please come in, sir. You are the king. Yes, I am.
Was it Comedian next door? Was that Comedian?
No,
then, or was
it was Ad-Libs.
Ad-Libs, that's it.
It's Ad-Lib. And Ad-Lib was for your bit more serious dance.
They did fun parties though on Ad-Libs, didn't they?
Yeah.
Sunday nights.
Tots as well and Zeros. There was all fun. I loved the phone party. I loved the phone party until you could not breathe. Until you was fighting for your life. You got literally covered you so much that you was fighting.
Fun parties.
You had half an hour of, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. Yeah. And then, oh my cross, no, this is going to kill me. Yeah.
You parties in the 90s,
that's a horrible feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a recurring nightmare about a phone
suffocation in foam. What a way to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Jif baby was going to get you.
That is a
very liquid baby was going to kill you.
That's a shit death, isn't it?
That is a really bad way to go. But you'd be lovely and clean.
By the time this countdown reaches 0, another song by Ed Sheeran will be released in the charts. With help from our support team, Artists for All, we hope to help you realise that other artists do exist. Join us now at Artists for All.
1.
Stand up to change.
0. Okay then, fellas, let's talk about the news and sports happening in 1995. Let's have a look. Phil's got a big old drink on the go, so let's go to Phil.
Thanks for that.
What were your abiding memories of 95 from the news?
Oh, they're not memories at all. Don't remember half of this shit.
That could have something to do with the effects of alcohol and long-term memory loss.
New Year's Day, Fred West found dead in his
I thought you meant you celebrated New Year's Day with Fred West.
What a party that was going to be.
It's just like...
Well, I was meant to, but when I got there, he'd already gone. So
you didn't get to do Old Lang Syne?
No, didn't say nothing.
It turns out he didn't link his arm, he just linked his belt round.
He
his
turned
arm.
round and got hold of Rose, though.
That was a tradition I'd done for 10 years before that, and he broke it, bastard. So, yeah, he was...
Yeah. Definitely wasn't guilty.
No,
obviously.
He was just a friendly builder, wasn't he, in the local area?
Yeah, did a lovely line.
I won't do sport yet. If someone else wants to touch on that, I've got some sport things. But you got Richie James Edwards, Manic Street Preachers, goes missing.
Was that that year?
Yeah.
That one passed me by.
Never found. And I think they presume him dead about 2008 or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they never found him.
But I presume there's still people out, like fans are out there.
He wasn't
still
one
spotting.
of Fred West's victims.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
It wasn't daughtery enough for that, was it?
No, I suppose not, yeah.
But yeah, I'd imagine they're still finding or seeing like sightings of him every now and again. In
Yeah,
the same way they do with...
it was a bit bizarre, wasn't it? But,
yeah, absolutely. Was that just after they'd recorded the great or one of the good albums and then just went... It all sort of blew
so
up,
it would have
got too
been
much.
like...
Is it the one with Motorcycle?
Yeah, Motorcycle Emptiness and...
Suicide
Spare to Wear.
I guess it's that one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then, I guess I wasn't really into Manic Street Preacher, but I think by the time wise, it sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. The Sony PlayStation came out. There's the first one.
Splendid.
Yeah, I remember that was being that was quality. I remember
It's a grey one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Oh, massive.
And
yeah.
the lid opened up the top.
opened up,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
you had like Demolition Derby.
Destruction Derby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Destruction Derby.
Yeah, it was a great game, wasn't it?
I can't remember. There's a few others, wasn't there? But it was.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was a football game, wasn't there?
Oh, there's always a football game.
I think there was Superstars of Soccer, ISS
think you
Pro
had that,
Soccer. They then
didn't you?
turned into Pro Evolution and the birth of all that. But I remember, I don't know if you guys ever. Do you remember playing on the computer games? Because, like I say, I was very angry at the time. I used to get pissed off early. I remember if I lost at like a football or whatever, I'd punch the screen and I'd go, the computer's cheating. It's got to fucking cheat.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's like
Can't be you. It's
yeah,
not
just
me.
sort of like absolutely ridiculous.
World is rigged. Yeah.
So obviously O.J. Simpson found guilty.
He was found not guilty, wasn't he?
I found not guilty. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Yes, it's almost like I
I thought
fucked
we'd
up.
rewritten history then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was.
There's definitely a guy walking around with those tiny little hands that did that murder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, it's like a fucked up Cinderella, wasn't it? Like trying the glove and
It won't go on.
It won't go on, sort of thing. The other thing I've got, like a couple of ones actually. Mississippi becomes the last state in America to approve the abolition of slavery.
Yeah, they like to hang on to that kind of Confederate.
What the fuck?
fucking
Like,
nonsense,
so
didn't they?
technically, they could
Up
have
to 1995. Yeah.
someone still could have been slaves. Like, imagine if no one got the fucking call and there was still they were still doing that shit. Like that would be bad, wouldn't it? Another one of these bullshit fucking sort of competitions in Canada. Butcher did the longest sausage. How long do you think this sausage could be?
You really?
Where'd you get this info from?
He's got to have this weird. He doesn't use Google, does he? He's still asking.
Yeah,
Jeeves
seriously,
or something.
I did Google it. It's off. I can't remember. It's off somewhere.
Weird food
This
shit
is, honestly, it's genuine. It's not one of my.
How long was this
The
sausage?
longest sausage.
Well,
right. Okay.
okay.
165 metres.
Meters way out. This is crazy. This is crazy.
It's into the miles then, because
It's miles. It's fucking crazy.
Miles. It's
Yeah, it's
miles.
fucking
making
miles.
a
Yeah.
sausage miles long.
This is in why I just
12 miles.
no.
I mean, it seems so much more than that.
Up.
Really?
Yeah, it's this is so ridiculous.
152 miles.
152.
No, it's not quite 152, but it's
Under
like,
100.
No, it's like double what you had the first guess.
So 25 miles.
It's roughly it's 28 fucking miles of
That's
sausage.
ridiculous.
It's almost from like here to London, isn't it? Of sausage. Yeah. What the fuck?
What the hell is that person doing? Go out.
Oh, yeah.
Spend some time with your wife. I don't know. Do something. What is going on in the world?
Yeah,
I suppose must have been a very cold Canadian winter then.
Pretty much. The other one, they'll probably mention it, Jim, so I won't say it. But the thing I have here, do you remember the Richard Gere rumour?
Was this about hamsters?
Yeah. Where did this spring from? Like, I don't ever remember. It even says it was it's a rumor. Like, it's always been a rumor. It's never been proven.
Yeah.
But it's just like,
I mean, it'd take something to prove it, wouldn't it? This is the.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Who started it?
Well,
wasn't
that's the
me.
thing. I don't,
He's upset someone. Hasn't
Well, Julia Roberts.
he? He's upset someone. Hasn't he?
God, I don't know.
Well, he must be. It's just like you're an A-list celeb. You've just he's not so long done Pretty Woman, whatever, like big selling.
It's
and
riding
now,
on the Christopher wave.
yeah, just like letting a fucking gerbil run around in your bumhole.
So strange.
It's like fucking really.
Yeah,
Sounds quite nice, actually.
everyone's got to have a hobby.
Yeah, it's like well,
but
exactly. Surely you'd go. I don't know. Why a gerbil though? Surely if you're Richard Gere, you could have like a baby. I don't know, tiger kitten or something.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm guessing a gerbil would be more suitable size-wise.
Yeah, I'm
a
assuming
tiger up his arse.
it's not so much the cost. I think it's more the logistics, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's going to stop him.
I don't think you wanted.
a
I don't,
tiger cut off his bum.
don't think he wanted his arsehole ripped open.
Yeah, maybe.
just a light tickle, wasn't it? Rather than being poured to death.
We saw them.
We know what Dell's into, then, don't we?
Oh,
Why do you go for fucking gerbil?
Why does he? Every year he asks me for Christmas for a big tiger cup.
big
What's
tiger
he? What's he got for this tiger cup?
Well, you
Gerbil
saw-
won't even touch
well-
the sides. What the fuck?
Well, you know, with that film we saw in Amsterdam, Eels for Love, that would make more sense. So, like, if he went down the eel route, I could accept that. I'll be like, yeah. Or like, who else is getting involved in all this? Michael Douglas, is he?
Terry Nutkins.
Yeah, Terry Nutkins.
Who knows?
Yeah, be all
Gotta
over.
be.
That's why. Did he lose a finger because the tigers? bit
Maybe
him off?
Richard Gere's bum clamped on. And just
Maybe
wouldn't
he's
let
got
go.
teeth in his arsehole.
That little shop of horrors kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Going on. Who knows what's happening?
He tricks everyone into him.
It just doesn't bear thinking about, does it?
He lures them in thinking they're up, like they're going to get something, and that's why like Terry Nutkins tried to finger his bum.
It's like
out.
that
And
horror
he just-
film,
yeah.
really
teeth
just-
or something, isn't it? Where that woman's got teeth in her fanny, isn't it? But he's
This
Richard
one-
Gere. That's where I got the idea
Are
from.
we saying that's how Richard Gere eats and takes on nutrition? His bum hole eats fingers.
Imagine him on the set of Pretty Woman, like Julia Roberts is like eating, a tasty salad or something like that.
She's chomping on a pepperami. His bum hole thinks that looks like a finger.
Dangling a hamster.
Excellent.
Just laying on a bed.
Now, you know how we mentioned the lawyers earlier? I think this might
Yes.
be the litigious part of the show.
I highly say rumour.
It's a rumour.
It
Yeah.
is the rumour.
And for that
That's the
reason,
thing.
we can get away with this nonsense.
Yes, no, definitely.
Good stuff. Shall we find a safer
Yeah,
line of
safer,
questioning?
no.
How about this? Mad cow disease was running riot all over the place.
Oh, really?
Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Mad
that was-
cow disease, and just like you couldn't eat fucking beef
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
weird
do
stuff.
remember that.
British beef got a massively bad rep, didn't it?
Mental, wasn't it? It's just like, oh my days.
What was it? Yeah, it was the videos as well, wasn't it? Of, like literally, like
Yeah, just these cows like breakdancing in the middle of fields and stuff and falling over, wasn't it?
There was like adverts on telly about it and stuff like that, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
proper like they were advertising it.
what buy a man?
don't know, just
man's
like-
beef.
Do
No,
you
just
want
about-
this?
Do you?
Are your cows sane? Do you
I
want
remember
mad
exactly,
ones?
but I remember it was being like really shoved in your face.
It was heavily
wasn't it? Yeah.
publicised and stuff, wasn't it? It was a massive problem
Yeah,
for the farming community, I presume. But yeah,
exactly.
absolutely mental, wasn't it?
It's like where that Alan Partridge thing comes in, doesn't he? Where he starts talking about all the mad shit they put in, where he winds up the farmers.
You've got massive warehouses,
Yeah, exactly.
20-foot chickens.
They don't know why they're so big.
Look at me, tiny human.
Feed beef burgers to swans.
Any other news of the day that we can recall? I've got a couple of things. You sort of touched on it in something you said earlier, Phil. The red hot summer,
Yeah, because America had.
Okay.
driest on record.
America was the same, wasn't it? They
Yeah.
had, it's called the Chicago Heat Wave, wasn't it?
Yes,
About
absolutely.
739 people.
Sounds
died
like
or
pizza.
something like
It does,
that. Yeah,
doesn't it?
Chicago
well, yeah,
Heat
it was,
Wave.
it is, isn't
Oh,
it?
lovely.
Yeah, maybe that's where I got it from.
You got
Bastards.
Chicago and you got a
Heat
heat wave.
wave.
Whoosh.
The home of pizza, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
So yeah, mate, so it looks like it wasn't just us who was having the hot summers as well. Then.
Absolutely. 26 years ahead of, where we are now.
Yeah, big time. Then.
You had the Oklahoma bombing as well, didn't you?
Oh, was that Timothy McVeigh?
Murrah Federal building, killing 168 people. It was.
Yeah, absolutely. Mental stuff going on. Barings Bank went bust.
Was
Remember
that then?
That was then.
Oh, yes.
Nick Leeson.
Didn't they get bought for £1 or something? No.
Something
Yeah.
silly, I imagine. But yeah, Nick Leeson ran up £1.4 billion worth of
Oh,
debts
yeah, the
against the
rogue
bank.
trader.
And then tried to escape to like the Far East, didn't he, or something?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Brought back. Good film.
Yeah.
Rumbelows closed its doors for the
Rumbelows.
final time during the
Cool.
Rumbelows. Yeah. The electrical store, 311 stores they had around the country, and they went bust.
Do you remember the advert with the big hands?
Yeah. Pricey.
Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest news, though, than all of that, UK legislation in effect allowing pubs to remain open throughout Sunday afternoon for the first time.
Oh my
Really?
lordy! So now we're in a position where we had 24-hour drinking, but we back then they
Remember,
couldn't
they
even
start
open.
close at like 2,
Yeah.
shut, then they open up again about 5, 6 o'clock or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you go home and then
Yeah,
come
just
back.
talk to your family for a bit and
Yeah.
then wander back 3 hours later.
So yeah, good times.
mate.
Oh.
They finally come to their senses. And
One
went,
of the
It's
best
just-
laws they brought in.
why don't we just stay open?
Let's just do that.
Yeah. Man.
Do you remember UK phone codes? Didn't have a 1
Oh yeah.
in the area code.
Oh, yeah,
This
yeah,
is the year they were
yes.
brought in. And everyone went, well, I
Who's,
can't possibly remember that.
Whose parents used to answer the phone by saying the telephone number?
Oh, like that 4291?
Yeah, that's what
Possibly,
I remember.
yeah.
I remember my mum did it.
Possibly, I can't remember.
51018. Like that. And it's just like, I used to cringe even back then. I was just like, well, would you just say hello like a normal fucking person? Say hello. It's hello.
Hello.
You know, the
Maybe she was doing it in binary.
51018.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, and then the 7 come in.
Absolutely. Mad things. Mad times in 1995. I had a couple more, and then I'll hand the floor over again. George Graham, the Arsenal manager, was sacked after receiving illegal payments from agents. Made a few quid on the side. No harm,
Did
no
all right
foul.
for himself, yeah.
Did all right. Got sacked. Nightmare. One of the most successful Arsenal managers out.
Worst thing you did, got caught.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
The worst thing he did probably was manage Tottenham.
I
As
mean,
an ex-Arsenal.
worst thing he did was sign John Jensen after the
Oh,
92
right.
Euro. You know. Then it was the bungs, and then it was
the-
managing Tottenham in that order. And the last one I've got, which I'm sure we'll talk about, Man United signing Andy Cole
Oh, okay.
for the British record of 7
Really?
million quid.
But it was
And
only a record for a little
For
bit,
a little,
wasn't it?
because then Arsenal signed Dennis Bergkamp for 7.5 million, and then Liverpool broke it to sign Stan Collymore.
I didn't know that one.
Oh, okay.
8.5
Really?
million.
God, mate.
Broke it 3 times in 1 year.
Even mate, Collymore was a quality player at that time.
Absolutely.
So he was
Southend
Forest, and then he was definitely 100%.
And now he's back at Southend as a director of football type
Oh, is
thing.
he really?
something
Oh,
like
fair
that,
enough.
Yeah,
No, it's all good, mate. He was a legend there.
absolutely.
It was, the other Mr. the Cantona Kung Fu kick.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, that was mad. Well, the other thing I was
That
going to
was
say
insane,
about that.
though, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it was insane
That was
because I
massive,
mean,
wasn't
the
it?
guy who wound him up in the actual court case for it, he actually ended up losing it and attacking the what do you call the
Oh, what, like the lawyer trying to prosecute him? and
yeah, the
stuff?
prosecutor. Yeah, he attacked it and lost it. He said loads of racial slurs and all that. So
Oh,
he's
right.
like the guy he kicked was a proper dick, but it's
Yeah.
obviously the fact of what he did.
He's got a bit of a-
But the thing is, because of what Cantona did, this like baffles me a little bit. Because of what Cantona did, it basically gave birth to kick racism out of football. Because what the guy said was something to do with French. So all of the poor sort of black players before who had been getting horrendous abuse
Yeah.
was almost like it wasn't really discarded.
Yeah.
It was discarded, and as soon as like Cantona, he was like the front
poster
guy.
boy, yeah.
I remember him. There was the advert. Him, Les Ferdinand, and I can't remember the other player, but I definitely remember Ferdinand, and it was just like, mate. To be fair,
You can't really,
not
compare
really.
compare the
So
two.
I
It was just the famous Cantona
This is the-
seagulls.
when-
And that was
No, he did the seagulls, but the advert was.
Yeah.
Do you think it's okay to call me a Frenchman or something? I don't know.
Yeah, no, but it was
because I am a Frenchman.
all from this happening. Was this when he said that famous quote about the
when-
seagulls or
when
something? like
the
that, wasn't it?
seagulls
That's-
follow the trawlers because they think sardines
Yeah.
are being thrown overboard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
And then just walked away.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's your statement.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He is.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was. I remember it happening.
Turns out he is mental.
It wasn't on opium then. At the time.
I remember it happening. It was massive, wasn't
He
it?
dropped acid just
Yeah.
before signing for
He was eating stones.
small
Off,
Benfleet team.
he was eating stones off of Brian Robson's driveway.
Showering
With
down on
yeah.
gravel.
There is a funny story though. You know, like these ex-Man United players do these stand-up nights where they, people pay and they listen to their stories and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I think it's Lee Sharp
Right.
And he tells a funny one, and it's the night of this when the Cantona does it, and they're playing Crystal Palace, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they're playing bad. I think it ends in a draw. And basically, Cantona's done this thing, and everyone's in shock, blah blah blah. And then they're all talking like around the pitch, going like, right, when we get back in the changing room, no one have a shower. I can't remember whoever the captain was. Right, he gets everyone goes right. No one get in the shower. Just get your towels ready. We will wait, and we're going to wait for the manager to come in. This is going to be epic. He's all going to kick off in the change room. So they're all doing that. The game finishes. They all go back. They're all getting in the towels, waiting. None of them get in the shower. They're all waiting for Alex Ferguson to come in. He kind of comes in, boots the door in, fuming like shit. Has a go at them all. He's going, right, that was fucking diabolical. That was shit. Goes through all of them like, you were shit. Why didn't you do that pass you did? Blah blah blah. Bollocks. And they're all getting excited. He's getting to Eric Cantona, and they're all like, he's gonna fucking kick off. And he turns to Eric Cantona and he goes, and Eric, you can't go around doing that round here, mate. That ain't on. And they're all like really disappointed because they were like expecting this.
I play one loose pass and I get balled out for 5 minutes, and he does that.
And it's like the story he tells. It's brilliant. You know, I can just imagine it, whether it's true or not. But it always makes me chuckle. If that is, that's
can't
great.
go around here doing that sort of thing. It's frowned upon.
Yeah,
in Crystal Palace. It's insane, isn't it? Man, I still remember watching that. He was suspended for like 5 months, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was it 8 months? Or was it just
To the end of the season, essentially.
Was it?
And
Okay.
he was originally given 2 weeks inside by the police.
He scores the winning goal in the FA Cup final as well,
That
doesn't
gets reduced to 120 hours. So it all kind of falls into place. He gets a lovely mid-season break and he comes back and scores the winner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the other Bruno wins the world title, and
Who did he? Was it McCall? He would have been.
Yes, it was.
Davina McCall. Yeah, he beat
Stuart McCall of Everton.
Yeah, Stuart McCall.
Was that the one where Oliver McCall then sits in the corner and cries, or was that when he thought?
That was when he watched Bruno and Panto. He did that.
He just never liked to
I
think
can't
behind
take
him.
this.
The panic is behind you, Frank.
Well, that was the thing, because like Bruno was like, I mean, he was he was decent enough, but he just like bit of a glass chin, or not even a glass chin. He just used to panic when he used to get hit.
Yeah.
And it was what someone you just really wanted to win. Just sort of like, it's that whole British.
Now stop. Just want you to win now. Just stop, Frank. I don't want you to get hit anymore.
But but seeing that, he was being so berated because turning up in Panto. You got, I mean, on paper you've had all these chances to get a world title.
Yeah.
And that you're doing Panto, and he was a bit of a joke.
Yeah, absolutely.
To a degree, and it was so nice that he actually won it, and almost like
validates it and stuff. Yeah.
So that's it. And then the Oasis Blur rivalry, but that'll probably
absolutely
come up in, music.
Yeah, definitely worth touching on in music, I assume. 2 more things I've got, and then Phil, we might come back to you. Princess Diana was interviewed on BBC TV. That famous one with Martin Bashir and stuff. Yeah. See, 23 million people.
That what she's mentioned about old Hewitt.
So she sort of mentions about the adultery with him, and then the depression, the bulimia, and all the rest of it, which is just like a groundbreaking interview with one of the royal family. That was when they first started, obviously, to get
everyone was
access.
Like, well, a lot of people were. It split, wasn't it? The whole reaction, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You got the
especially back then. No one gave a fuck really about like bulimia, depression, all those like mental issues she was going through. So like back then, well, not everyone, but a lot of people would have been like, suck it up type thing, because they didn't have the understanding of
absolutely
what people go through now, sort of thing. Or it wasn't as well.
The encouragement to talk, it wasn't there anymore, was it?
No.
Yeah, it's
just really brave what she did, but she was almost shot down, and they just pretty much branded her like almost like sort of like,
she was the pariah, wasn't she?
Yeah,
absolutely. It was mad.
Yeah, pretty much
mad times. And then the last thing, and then I'm over. 1% of the UK had internet access. That was a big milestone that we hit in '95.
Is it really?
Mental, isn't it? Just 1%.
Was it dial-up?
Yeah, so it would have been dial-up.
Yeah,
60,000 people that was back then. And that was like a thing to celebrate. And you're like, Jesus, now the world goes doolally when you sort of lose internet access for 20 seconds.
I can't remember when I had internet access. It must have been like late 90s, 2000s even.
Yeah.
I'm talking like... So that's a few years after that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man.
So those early adopters, can you imagine the slow speeds and stuff that must have been coming down those phone lines?
I remember having a dial-up from my bedroom, and the lead went all the way downstairs to like my mum and dad's phone and plugged it in.
Yeah.
I remember getting busted because there was a Katie Price. I think it was the Katie Price sex tape, and I went onto this site.
What, Pete Andre one?
No, it's like Dane Bowers.
Dane Bowers.
That's the one.
And I remember going on this site, and I like my download. It took fucking forever to do it, but I just remember
Worth it.
Not really, because like
grainy image.
No, it wasn't worth it. Well, I just remember my mum getting the phone bill. It was absolutely catastrophic because it used to be if you used to hit them sites, the phone bill.
Oh, because they're probably routing it through somewhere.
100%.
And you used to get itemised bills then. Do you remember getting itemised phone bills and that? Do you remember?
What's this one number? It's like when I imagine it was when you were going out with Claire for the first time. So it's like your parents would go through the phone bill. It's like, you're spending, there's 30 minutes there, there's an hour. What are you talking to them for an hour for? Hang up. Hang up before an hour.
Do you remember
and
doing
then dial again.
Do you remember doing that thing on your phone where you could, I can't remember the number though, press 3 numbers, put it down, and then it would ring
They'd call you back. It's like 141.
Yeah. So you'd press a button. So I would like sneak in, like parents were downstairs, you sneak into the bedroom.
Make a really so quick.
And then like you wait for the tone to come, put down, and you go, I'll get it.
Yeah.
Hello. And then you would ring the number, or you pretend you're talking to someone, hello, and you dial a number.
Yeah.
But sometimes I get the phone there before you. I go, I've got it. You go, there's no one there.
Must be one of those crank calls. Yeah.
I like that.
Oh man, alive! Well, that is my news. Dale, you got anything else to add to the?
The other thing is, so Cliff Richard was knighted for making rather annoying Christmas songs.
Yes, he was. That was the exact reason they gave, wasn't it? Yeah. For his services to mistletoe and wine.
You might think otherwise. I know a lot of people are pro Cliff. I remember having a conversation with a young lady over the weekend, and it was she was pro Cliff. Oh, I can't, mate.
Nah, this doesn't do it for
me.
We're
touching on music though. I mean, probably the biggest one was Take That split.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, was that?
Robbie Williams announces he's quitting, and there was actually a Samaritans.
There was a helpline set up, wasn't there? Yeah,
really?
I remember that.
Yeah, it was that bad. People, like fans, were.
Do you know what? I don't remember a lot because that would have obviously been when we were at college and stuff. I don't remember there being that much outcrying.
See, that doesn't make me feel as bad for sticking my head through a plate glass window. The fact
maybe that's why you did it, Dale.
Yeah, exactly. Because really left take that.
Or because Cliff was knighted. I'm not sure which way you went. Who knows?
Either way, he was fucking angry at something.
He was angry at something. And it was definitely to do with the charts.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, brilliant.
Splendid. Any more for any more? Or should we call that a thorough investigation into the news of the day?
Yeah,
splendid.
I'd leave out the word thorough, but yeah.
You want to know what keeps me up at night? Wars, famine? No. It's if I was a female magician, would I be Abracadabra or Deborah Cadabra? Oh, my lovely wand.
Let's go straight on to what was making the news in TV land back in 95.
Not much.
There wasn't a huge amount, but there was one lovely little moment. I'll be there for you, Phil, if you can tell me what it was.
Oh, I think I know.
Well, that's you though. I wasn't into that at all.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the final episode of Brum?
That was
voiced
massive.
By Toya Wilcox as well.
Yeah, no, obviously it was huge, wasn't it? It was massive.
Brum was massive.
Brum was enormous, but I think Friends was probably a bigger deal.
I just never got it.
I was a
couldn't
massive
get
fan.
into it.
Yeah. I could enjoy it. I could watch it. Like I could watch EastEnders like soap opera, but I never. There was the moments, like human, but I never got it like you guys.
I properly, I went hook, line, and sinker for Friends.
Yeah,
I can't tell because looking back at the first 2-3 series, obviously it's dated, but it's not particularly laugh out loud funny. It's just quite saccharine, sweet sort of stuff, which I didn't think would be my cup of tea, but it just really resonated.
No, it was Not just you, was it? Everyone. It was.
I mean, it
was
literally
huge.
took over the world, didn't it?
Yeah.
It properly
I just
took over the
personally,
world.
and I don't know if that's what the problem was. It was so big.
Maybe that's what it was.
I was
Yeah, it
expecting
sort of voiced.
better or
found it-
more from
Yeah.
it, and it just didn't.
Yeah, I think I found it too
Something like that.
nicey.
It was incredible.
I know it's meant to be like that, and I like a bit of sort of things going wrong, a bit of darkness, and or weirdness, obviously. But it's But obviously, the other sitcoms have been like similar, and I don't know, whatever it was. But
Just didn't quite float.
but then
float
watch
your
it.
boat,
Sort
but-
of, you know.
But then a much better version of people being in a flat, housemates together the same
Game
year.
On.
Game On,
You're
which
talking
is
Game On.
far better.
Absolutely
Very
adore
much.
Game On.
I mean, there wasn't many of them, but it was.
Yeah.
Well, the first series, that was the only series in my mind. The second
Yeah, Ben
series was-
Chaplin.
yeah.
Ben
When they
Chaplin.
changed Matt, and do you know, I didn't know that he was actually down to do the second series, Ben Chaplin, but
Yeah.
he unexpectedly left for Hollywood because they came calling.
Yeah.
And last minute he just left, so they had to
Was it,
draft in the new guy.
Was it like the
Neil
truth
Stoop.
about cats and dogs?
Yeah, that was the first one, and then he was in like Thin Red Line and stuff like that, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yes.
He actually did some big films, but
Yeah.
so yeah, I think he was all down for the second series, and then literally unexpected. Well, I suppose Hollywood comes calling, you're going to go, aren't you?
Yeah,
Let's
it
face
might be your only chance.
Yeah,
mightn't
It was
So, yeah,
good.
you have to take it.
It's again very
So
dated
good.
of its time, but again,
No,
it's
it's
like
brilliant.
it's
So
still
good.
good.
Yeah.
It's the fact that he's agoraphobic. He bullies his flatmate. And then,
Yeah, because that was the problem. I
They're,
had
they're in love with his.
and they all just sleep. Well,
Yes.
So that was the problem I had with the second one, because his physique was less than Martin's.
You,
Do you know,
you
like-
wanted him. A
But
bit
no,
more
like,
ripped.
Matt was he wasn't
Yeah.
big, but he was taller, and he just
Yeah.
he had a bit more about him, so he was more believable when he picked on Martin.
Yeah.
But when the second one was smaller,
Yeah.
I just didn't believe it as much. I was just
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You don't seem as he's not intimidating as much. Whereas Ben Chaplin had a bit of something about him. He was brilliant in that role, wasn't he?
Martin.
Yeah,
It's just, yeah.
He was so much. He
In
was
the
really
hands.
good.
It was just
Ma-
really good.
Was it Mandy? It was Mandy.
Mandy,
Martin
yeah,
and
Samantha Jones,
Matt,
wasn't it?
Matt, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Matthew.
with
Evans.
the M's.
I can't remember the episode where he's with Despair to Wear. And he starts
it's
off,
brilliant.
like the quiet bit in Despair to Wear, and he turns blasts up. It's like
Boots
3
the door.
o'clock in the morning.
He boots the door down, and then that perfect moment when he goes all out, and he's got like the boom bass on his shoulders, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And they're like Matthew. Just-
It's just so.
And he has
so
little.
good.
He's vulnerable as well because he has little panic attacks. And all that
Yeah,
sort
when he has
of
to
stuff,
sort of go outside because he becomes the lead singer in a band.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
brilliant.
right.
Oh,
yeah,
It's
and he
so
gets
good.
With
He
the
has to go
butter
upstairs.
in the
though.
gutter.
He just starts crying on stage. He wails.
Yeah,
It's so good.
It
It's
is
really,
brilliant.
really good. If you haven't,
But not many people knew about it, did they? It was
it
just
did
like
seem to go under the radar because it was BBC Two, and it was.
yeah, it was brilliant.
Well,
wasn't it?
it was-
Rob Jelly didn't know
particularly-
about it, did he?
No. So it was very good.
Definitely worth checking out if you can. That's a definite recommendation from us.
Yeah.
Father Ted also began on Channel
Yep.
4. in the
Yeah.
year,
Oh, I love
which
Father
is
Ted.
just so good as
It's
well.
one of my It's up there with one of my favourites. Sitcom. It's just a bit different.
Yeah,
the
and
fact
again,
of it.
not many being made as well, were they?
No.
It's the obviously untimely death of.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it probably would have been the final series anyway. But just him, Father Jack, Dougal's amazing.
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
well. And it was just
Even some of the secondary characters, the Bishop Brennan that comes in, who's just an
the
absolute
whole
psychopath.
the whole thing.
Mrs. Doyle, and there's some of the episodes again. The
Yeah.
Speed one.
Oh
where
yeah, the
it's-
speed with Pat Mustard and the this
milkman.
massive tool and
where he puts a bomb on the milk float and stuff. And the Eurovision.
yes.
episodes.
Oh, my lovely horse.
It's
Isn't it?
just so good.
Yeah, there's
Or
so many. And
a load of bishops running around trying to find their way out of the lingerie section.
What's the one with the
M&S?
racist one with the
The Chinese
the
guys.
Chinese guys, and there's a bit
He
of
inadvertently gets
isn't
a bit
there
of
like
tape.
There's a black mark on the
But
window,
that's it,
and he
yeah.
waves it. It looks like
He's
Hitler.
doing
doesn't
it.
it?
Yeah,
So good. It's so many
Yeah.
good parts of that.
The other,
It's brilliant.
there's an episode where Father Jack drinks some toilet duck. And he just starts hallucinating.
That's right.
And every time they come near, they go, "Oh, you're right, Father." And he's just like fucking seeing him with all like green hands. And oh, mate, it's brilliant. Yeah, it just
So
again,
good.
I just love the fact that Dougal is so naive. He sleeps in like a duvet with He-Man
Yeah.
on it. They're so childlike.
Yeah.
And there's an episode with him then he's talking about you can't understand the difference between a toy cow and the real ones
yeah.
outside. It's like
One more time,
why they
David.
look
These-
the same size.
These ones are small.
Yeah.
These ones are far away. So good. It's just so good. Channel 4 was literally like the home of.
It was getting
Home
there,
of
wasn't it?
channels.
They were starting
Yeah,
to produce some
100%,
good
yeah.
stuff, weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I say that. Oh no.
Well,
Yeah, it was. Was it Hollyoaks? Was that Channel 4?
Hollyoaks
Yes,
started,
started
yeah.
for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And actually, do you know what? When it first started, it was actually quite.
Yeah.
It was kind of, it was aimed at us,
It was
wasn't
quite
it?
dark and quite
Yeah.
gritty
Well,
and
yeah,
stuff.
it did.
but
It
just
did
got really
sort of
stupid
speak
after
Oh,
many years.
as
But I
they-
remember
as they all do.
The
Did you
first
remember?
2 or 3 years, I remember actually quite liking it. I mean, this is good.
Jambo and whoever else it
Yeah.
was.
Jambo,
and, yeah.
Kurt, no, I'm thinking of Dear John. Kurt St. Morris. I'm trying to think of the guy with the
the
leather
motorbike.
jacket, yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically that sort of.
I think
thing.
it was Kurt, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
It
it
might
probably
be
was.
Kurt.
I think you're
Okay.
right, yeah, because he came back in it
Yeah.
a few years ago, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right, I think
Yeah,
it was.
Tony
okay.
and Mandy and everyone
Yeah,
else that was in
man.
it. And they're
He's
all,
still in it,
they've all,
Tony, isn't he?
They've all left and come back and sort of,
Yes.
apart from Tony, who stayed. He's
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
Ian Beale character, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Essentially.
Did he have like a twin who was in like 2 Point?
John Rickard.
Oh,
and,
okay.
yeah.
The-
I thought you meant in Hollyoaks, like I was going to do like a
Well,
Knight
no, no,
Rider,
so-
evil stepbrother.
Well,
scenario.
you say-
Great epic.
I just
I mean,
wanna go-
they must have run out of ideas at some point. That probably
If
would have
that's on
come
their
in.
next, then I'm taking credit.
Yeah.
The other one's got Coogan's Run. Steve Coogan did like
Oh, that was
3
great.
episodes,
Different characters and stuff, wasn't it?
characters.
Yeah.
Like Gareth, I can't remember. One of them was very
Gareth Cheeseman.
Gareth Cheeseman was
That's
very
right.
part.
A bit hit and miss them, though, weren't they? I remember
Yeah.
there was about
Yes.
2 good ones. The rest were a bit.
It wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other stuff on the telly. Let's have a look. Jim Davidson took over from Brucey on the Generation Game as the host.
Yeah.
He'd obviously made a big hit with
Big break.
Big Break, and then they sort of well, let's try him on something a bit even bigger.
He did all right on that as well, didn't he? From what I
He
remember.
made it his own to a certain extent, didn't
Like
he?
he's a TV persona back then wasn't as bad. Obviously, his live stuff was still fucking
Yeah,
horrendous.
yeah, absolutely.
And that's what fucked things up for him, didn't it? I think. And
Yeah, he
and he
just
was always
couldn't-
involved in tabloid sort of affairs, wasn't he? And
Yeah, he'd always do the dodgy sort of pantos and stuff, all
Yeah,
the adult
yeah.
pantos that he'd do
Buttons
and
and
all the
all
rest
that,
of it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember you used to get like Christmas DVDs, and he was always in like one of them, like Puss in
dodgy,
Boots or something
yeah.
like that. And it was
Yeah.
like 18, no.
Mike Reed would rock up and
Yeah, Christmas. It was always
Yeah,
a Christmas, wasn't it?
all
Like,
the quality lads.
that's
Yeah,
right, man.
Chubby Brown makes an appearance out of
I
nowhere.
remember. Oh, man.
All the right wing racists
Yeah, it was
coming
Jimmy
out.
Jones as well. And all, yeah, or whatever.
Oh, God,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
All like filmed it live at the Circus Tavern.
Chicken in a basket.
Yeah,
and
exactly, yeah.
old geezers all sitting around going,
Someone's getting stabbed in the crowd.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, God, mate.
good old glassing in the car park, and then it was home to bed. They think it's all over. Began on BBC One.
Yeah,
Oh,
I used
yeah,
to
I
love
remember that.
Yeah.
That was what
Really
they
like that.
used to.
Nick
Hancock.
I see.
was
Yeah, I
the
used to
host.
like that. It was good, that one.
They had like
Who were the
Jonathan Ross, was
captains?
it? Jonathan Ross and who was the other one?
Was it Lee Hurst from the outset? Or
Yes.
not?
Yeah, Lee Hurst.
Yeah, it was Lee Hurst.
Before he went all right wing and mental.
Is
Yeah,
that
it
what
was
he
Lee
was?
Hurst.
Did he go right wing?
Yeah, he's
No.
been dropped a lot from various bits and
I
pieces.
didn't know he was
yeah.
right wing.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's gone a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Lets people know his opinions, but you know
Okay,
everyone's
fair.
entitled, I suppose. Game on we've mentioned. Soccer AM also began on Sky Sports.
Oh,
Hell's Bells.
Helen-
Tim Lovejoy? Was Tim
So
Lovejoy the first
Lovejoy
one?
wasn't from the beginning. There was another male host, but Chamberlain was from the beginning. Yeah. So it was 4 hours when it first started. It's
What's
now
it
on
now?
about an hour and a half. It's
okay.
I
properly
remember when
dwindled.
Tim Lovejoy, he was maybe 3 hours, 9 till 12, I
Yeah,
think.
that's right.
But
It was-
I used to love Lovejoy and
belting.
Hell's Bells were the best.
That was the
prime,
best,
yeah, that
as
was
soon as
the
that
prime.
dream team got broken up,
Yeah.
no point. But you know, what can you do? Can't Cook, Won't Cook was also on
yeah.
BBC. So they
Who hosted that?
That was what's his name, wasn't it?
what's her face?
I thought is this the one when they had £5 to spend? And
No,
I
you
think
think
of
a
the
ready steady cook.
right.
Yeah, Can't Cook, Won't
know
Cook
why I
was
know that,
yeah.
and I've
But they
read-
obviously they went down a format kind of route. And
Yeah.
went, well, we need some more cooking shows to pad out the daytime. It was like one of those. You took people that just couldn't cook at all. And they
and
tried
they had
to
chefs.
paired them with a chef.
Yeah, I do remember.
And tried
yeah.
to make them, and it was basically just laugh at this person because they can't do anything.
What's the one I'm thinking of where they had like £5 to spend and they just got them out of the audience and
That
that's
was Ready Steady
Ready
Cook.
steady cook.
it was a similar format. And again, they had chefs with them, didn't they, as well, like professionals who had to.
So that was Ainsley
make-
Harriet.
Yeah,
and
Ainsley
stuff.
Harriet, yeah.
Green,
Yeah,
green
that's the
peppers
one.
and red tomatoes and stuff, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that's
doing all
Really cheap.
innuendos and like he missed the window. Like he would have been a great cast in the Carry On film, wouldn't
Oh God, yeah. He was born
Imagine
like
that,
30
yeah.
years too late, wasn't he?
he?
Essentially,
Yeah, I love
yeah. And then the last thing that I managed to dig out was The Thin Blue Line, if you remember that. It was,
Rowan Atkinson.
Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah, that was
Police comedy.
In my
I didn't really
memory-
like that. I didn't really.
In my memory, I didn't
Had to be
think
safe for the BBC, didn't it? It was
Yeah,
like 8 o'clock
didn't-
sort of
yeah.
stuff, but...
Wasn't that a guy from like Gimme in that as well?
Yes.
Yes, he was. Yeah, yeah.
James Drake, is it Dreyfus?
I think so. Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, he was one of the
Yeah,
coppers.
see, a lot of stuff I remember watching it, and I think if I went back and it was on Gold or something like that, I'd fucking.
You'd be
hate
really
it.
disappointed, yeah,
There's
absolutely.
only a few things I think I could watch back.
I would watch Game On back again.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I watched that
Definitely.
recently, probably about a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I watched that again.
Definitely
He's
works,
good. Yeah,
yeah.
still,
Okay.
still good. Yeah, definitely.
Splendid stuff. But yeah, some good old stuff there. So if you can get a chance to watch any of these listeners, we definitely recommend it. But yeah, Father Ted and Game On, I think we
amazing,
suggest.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Splendid.
shout, mate.
Nice. And that was TV back in 95.
My mate says, stop worrying about the things that you cannot change. Then again, he also says, the reason why you never catch a horse wanking is because they got hooves. Why not try Oat Flex cereal? We guarantee to make your day.
So then, chappy chaps, we've spoken about telly. Let's talk about what films we were loving back in 95. Mr. Reynolds, I'm going to come to you first. Give us your top three, but wax lyrical on your number one. All right, go on then. Hit us
So-
with some stuff.
Number 3,
Yep.
I'm going Toy Story.
Number 3
Going
is
number
Toy
3,
Story.
Toy Story.
Wow. Okay.
My 1 and 2 were very close, and I actually had to watch them both this week.
Just to make you.
to-
Did you flip between the two and sort of go back and forwards with what was going to be number one ultimately? Or?
No, so I just watched one, and then I watched the other one the next night, and then I was just like, no, it's that one. I was unsure.
You made the right decision.
I was unsure, but they're
Okay.
brilliant films. So number 2 is The Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
Brilliant film. All right, so my number 1, you'll probably guess it, is Showgirls.
100%.
Now,
No,
I just want to double check. That is a joke.
no, number 1 is 7. So yeah, it was close, but yeah, brilliant film. I watched it again because I just had to. It is amazing. At the time there was nothing like it.
No.
It was, and I don't think there still is actually.
I mean, I'll take your word on it. I've never seen it.
I can't. I don't know.
This is yet more.
I just can't believe you've never seen this film. That is,
Do you know what? I'm not a massive fan of anything particularly horrific.
right? So,
Okay.
So
well,
I'm aware of the ending. So obviously, for those people that are in my
so if I was going to say to you, you don't actually see any of the. It's not gore. It's not a gore fest.
I think it's anything that plays with your mind.
So that's what
So
it
it's
is.
the psychological
So you don't
horror
actually see any of the
thriller.
killings.
I'm not a
you
big-
see the aftermath of the killings, and
Yeah.
you hear what happens.
Yeah, that
And
would be enough
that's
for me
what's-
to yeah, because my vivid imagination would.
But
run
that's what's
riot.
brilliant about it is that you don't, because if you actually saw some of this stuff, like let's say the Saw movies, they'd probably just show you all the deaths,
Yeah,
and I would be turning that off, just thinking this is disgusting. I can't watch it.
yeah.
But it's the way it just doesn't do that. You just hear what actually happened and how he's done it.
Yeah. So all the I'm assuming 7 killings, are they all people that he's designated must die for a reason?
Yeah.
Right,
So there's always reasons. There's reasons behind it, and that's what the beauty of this film is. It could have just been your typical
Nutter goes on
buddy
a-
cop movie.
yeah.
You've got Morgan Freeman, who's a retiring policeman who's retiring in 1 week's time, and you got Brad Pitt.
Is he too old for this shit? No, that's
Yeah.
That's someone else. Isn't it?
But
That's
he's similar
Murtaugh,
like that.
But
Well, he's
it's,
been playing an old guy role for quite a while.
yeah, for about 50 years now, hasn't he? Yeah. But he is God, so he's quite
it's
old.
true,
He's-
it's true.
But he's very good in it.
Yeah.
And then you got Brad Pitt, who's this rookie kind of cop come on scene.
Bradley Pitt.
Bradley Pitt.
Bradley
Pitt,
Pitt.
yeah.
It's giving me a
He's
sort
this
of name.
rookie, so it's this typical buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's just so different because what is different about it is the killer is. This is cat and mouse, but the killer is always one step ahead.
Yeah.
All the time, he's one step, even to the ending. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be giving spoilers away. No one knows the ending of 7, but
Apart from me.
you know the ending, don't you?
I'm aware of A Head in a Box.
I can't believe I can't talk about the
That's-
ending of the Seven when and be in front of you.
Here's the thing, because I wasn't aware of it. I was always under the impression that, well, I'm never going to watch it because
you've
I'll
got
be.
to watch it. Well, I'm not going to talk too much about it.
I reckon my missus would now say to me, "Well, come on then, let's watch it."
You have to watch this film. It is brilliant.
I've added more to the list of things I've got to watch.
Birth to
Like,
the idea for Deal or No Deal as well. They did it. They did it with human heads.
The bank is on the phone.
Yeah.
Gwyneth wants to know if you want to take the money.
Like the last 20 minutes.
Or the severed head.
The last 20 minutes is so tense, isn't it?
Yeah, no, he's an amazing film. I
brilliant.
do love it. And also, it's just the fact of something about the setting. It's raining all the way through the film.
And you don't actually know where it's set. It's never mentioned.
No.
So you'd set in this.
So it's
just
just
American
like
city. You don't know where it is.
Right.
It's timeless. He's like they'll say it's just dark. It's pissing down.
It could be almost like out of a comic book, couldn't it?
Yeah. It's
that sort of.
It's so good. And I've got a couple of facts that actually you'll probably quite like about it. Do you know actually Sylvester Stallone was down for the part of Brad Pitt at first?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The hell out of
And there was actually the studio because the studio didn't like the ending or they thought it was too dark.
Right.
So they were changing it to be like a buddy cop movie where I don't know they just say they catch the killer and blah blah blah, all the explosions, car chases, whatever, all of this, and they mistakenly they had this script redone like that, but they mistakenly sent the original script to David Fincher.
Wow.
And then when he read the original script, he was like, no, we're doing it this way, and refused. And so did Brad Pitt. Apparently refused to be part of it if they were going to do it.
Put their feet down.
Yeah, so and they made the end. So, I mean, yeah.
I mean, that is a fortuitous...
And you couldn't imagine it any other way. The fact that the way it is, yeah. But, yeah, Jimmy, I urge you to watch Seven, honestly.
I've never been urged by Phil in the 30
He's
plus
a-
years I've
he's
known
a-
him, but
he's-
I quite liked it. I won't lie.
It's a great film.
Okay, we'll keep that one on the back burner for me and Mrs. Jimbo. All right.
Yeah, it's not a date night film, though.
No.
You don't know, she's pretty sick. All right, good references, young Reynolds. We like your listing. Del, let's move to your good self then for your top three.
So I don't know really.
Is there much crossover with Phil's?
Yeah, it's pretty much similar.
So I think they're all over the
But I've got some close.
Go on, talk us through your show your working.
I'll show you my close thirds.
Okay, that
So my
sounds
close
fair.
thirds. So almost.
So these
thirds.
are honourable mentions, yeah?
Honourable mentions.
Yeah.
And it's for Heat.
Yeah, I had that as an honourable mention as well.
Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Kilmer, Tom Sizemore. There's a whole the cast.
It's
is
a good
absolutely
cast,
huge.
isn't it? Yeah.
It's not. It's a decent film, and it's a great heist movie. It's just. As much as it is a good film, there's something a bit lacking, and that's why it doesn't make the top three.
Yeah, I was the same. It was very close to me. I just missed it.
It's got so much good talent that it should be phenomenal.
I think the length of it as well is about 3 hours long.
It's a long film, yeah, and it's.
It just goes on a bit, doesn't it?
And a lot of it's the build up between Pacino and De Niro the first time they act on screen together.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of that. It's good. It's good acting. Again, like the heist bit of it is very clever, and I don't know. It's something like It
just doesn't
it's a
quite.
bit long. There's something a bit like I don't know what it is.
It's your 8.5 out of 10, but it's not.
Yeah, if it's
not
on, I'll
exceptional.
totally watch it. But I'm not screaming to watch it. Whereas, like, if Seven's on, if Usual Suspects, like Toy Story, obviously, they're almost like
another year. Yeah, that would have probably been in the top 3.
Yeah. I'll go with that. Different year.
Sounds good reasoning.
Different year. The other ones were 12 Monkeys. I thought 12 Monkeys was out there.
Okay, yeah.
I like the idea again. Old Armpit in his top form is again he was just like a different role. He's
I
playing
think he
the
got
same
nominated for an Oscar for that, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah, he played like the role he played. Like, again, the guy.
A bit
was very
OTT
funny.
though, I think I remember.
A little bit. But then Bruce Willis was showing up. He wasn't really showing a different side, wasn't he? But he was doing a bit more arty stuff rather than sort of
Just your
getting
general,
blown out.
yeah,
Although
sure.
he did make, I think it's the third or fourth Die Hard that year.
Third one. That's a
It
good
was
one.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah, that was
I
a
had
good one,
down.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, I like that one.
I don't think I've seen that one. Just 'cause
Yeah, no, it was good. Die Hard 2 wasn't very good, but Die Hard of Vengeance was. That's probably the second best one.
I'll get you a badge, Joe. You can be in the club. haven't seen Die Hard 3.
But another film I quite like. It's again drama wise was Dead Man Walking. It's Sean Penn and Susan Sarandon.
The guy on Death Row.
Yeah, it's a decent film. It's more drama. So, but I think the other films have got something more meaty about them. So it's more now. So your top one is going to be the T one.
I reckon it might be.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then that's fine. That would have been my number one.
Yeah, but we can all very much wax lyrical.
I don't know why nostalgia and different, but when you get onto it, I talk about it anyway. Other one that you said, the year of the angry Scottish person. Well, not the year of the angry Scottish. That's harsh, but like the Braveheart, you had the Rob Roy.
Yeah.
And then that fueled a lot of shit. Like when the Euro '96, when we talk next year, the whole.
Of course.
So it was all. But it's like the story was again, it was decent. It was decent watch. It wasn't sort of old Gibson.
I mean, the fact that they put every single working Scottish actor in that film and then gave the lead role to the Aussie fella that couldn't be asked to do a decent accent is a bit.
Well, at least Costa wouldn't have even bothered, would he?
Wouldn't he?
Nah. He'd have just done his usual American accent. But yeah, usual suspects. I just love it. The fact of there's so many quirky bits in the film. Again, Kevin Spacey, before all the nonsense that obviously he's been up to. He was on. He had a hell of a run as well. He not quite Costner.
It's something about the name of Kevin, because I looked it up actually, Del. Of his run. The run itself is not very good because he does have a lot of shit films in between. Okay. But if you look at,
he worked hard.
If you look at the five top films he did in the 90s, was amazing. Like you got Seven, Usual Suspects,
American Beauty,
LA Confidential. You got Glengarry Glen Ross.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're like
some big.
He did a lot of crap in between as well, like the Negotiator and stuff like that.
That really to talk about the plot from this. This is a film I don't. It deserves for you not to spoil the plot because it's. Have you
not seen this either?
I haven't seen this either.
It's a great twist.
Do you know the ending?
So I know of the whole Kaiser Sose thing.
Yeah.
But that is as much as I...
So you don't know who Kaiser Sose is?
No.
Right.
Oh my god.
But do you know what? I'm unlikely to watch it. So I say
you need to watch this then as well. Then you have to watch this.
But you can't begrudge the viewers the chat about this when it's just me that's holding it back.
With Seven and Usual Suspect, you could watch them now. And there's even little bits where I can't remember when they're doing the lineup.
Yeah,
I think one of them, I can't remember, Chaz, whatever he's called. He actually farts while they're doing it. And they're all when they're filming it, they're actually laughing, they're giggling.
They're there for 12 hours doing the scene.
So they're just fucking around, and he farts.
This one in the police, which is the poster.
The famous
one when they're doing the lineup picture. When they're doing that, he farts, and they thought it was going to be an outtake, but because it looked so good, they keep rolling. They kept rolling, and it actually looks like they're just fucking dicking around. They're criminals. They've been here before. They've done that.
Yeah,
it so works. Everything, the little I don't know, the pieces they've put together just to build up the whole story. The verbal kin thing with Kevin Spacey, the way he plays the cripple. You've got all the. I'm saying it because that's the name of the thing in the his character. That's what they call it. I'm not being non-PC, but hey, sue me because you have to get in line with the rest of the fucking court cases. But yeah,
it's going to be a busy few weeks, isn't it? Though?
But yeah, all the whole story, the acting is brilliant. It's not there is obviously violence in it, but it's the story that brings it to. And that's for me. I don't like. I mean, you can watch an action film anytime you want, just for things being blown up, people being killed. But for me, it's all about the story. And if you've got that along with explosions and stuff, it's always a winner.
So it's a win-win.
But there's a bit more to it. But I can't really say too much about the plot because I think it's a bit unfair for no one who's watched it because it's a cracker of a film, and I think you should watch it.
Seven and Usual Suspects you have to watch. Gotta watch it, Jim. Honestly.
I can do that.
Oh, the other really close one I had was Ballbag 2.
All right,
So was Usual Suspects number one, or was that your number one?
Yeah, it was number one.
When he goes back onto a list.
Just got one more.
It's like a really shit Columbo.
Just one more.
Just one more thing.
Just one
Do you
more.
remember Ball Bag 2? What was the full name of the title, Dale?
Ball Bag 2, Revenge of the Nutsack. Sorry. And it starred
Who was in that?
it starred Jeff Shedd as Major Bellend.
Jeff Shedd.
It said Wendy Richards as Pat Cow.
From EastEnders?
Yeah, from EastEnders.
Right, yeah.
And Clint Champagne as Pull Your Pants Down. And it was a horror about a giant ball bag that attacks a sleepy city, and the sack was getting in every crevices of people, suffocating them. And it was killed by the fashion designer Jean-Paul Gaultier. So,
Have you ever played the film? Have you ever played the game Boulder Dash? Where, like, sounds like that, you know. Where I don't know if you played it. So you get a film title,
Yeah,
right.
and you've got to make up
The plot.
the plot.
Sort of thing. Right.
So whoever gets it, and then you've got. So whoever's going it is has got to guess who's doing the real plot,
Yeah.
and who's made it all up.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you
Oh,
once
mate.
you get so
I mean, that's 100%
what it sounds
right.
like. You do. It sounds like you get these.
Oh,
you
mate,
get Boulder Dash.
that sounds a really interesting game. But for all fans of Ball Bag 2, Revenge of the
That's
Nutsack,
100%
that's,
true.
And if Phil's offended you, there is email that you can
Unbelievable.
send.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can send me hate
so you
mail.
can send him hate mail.
Yeah. Definitely troll him on
That's,
Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook.
There's a bit of a sour taste in the room.
That is an hour. Yeah, we're both shocked. That's all we're saying. Wow, I'll be looking.
Why
very much-
I oughta.
If you can give me the name of your video man, please, Phil. I need to get Usual Suspects 7 and Ball Bag 2.
Yeah.
Quick Smart on
The
VHS.
ball bag one is.
Well, I'm looking forward to
not
Jim's.
worth.
I'm looking forward to Jim's top 3 now.
So, I mean, can you imagine my shitty
Yes.
list that's going to come out now when I haven't seen any of these? So, obviously, they're honourable mentions. There are a variety of other films that occurred during the year, which I also haven't seen, such as Apollo 13, Sense and Sensibility, Batman Forever, Babe, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Casper, Pocahontas, Goldeneye, Clueless, The Basketball Diaries, Get Shorty, Bad Boys, Crimson Tide, First Night, Species, or Waterworld. Haven't seen any
Also
of
was
those.
Kevin Costner. Goldeneye, though. Return of Bond, I know you mentioned it. Like 6 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a big old gap between the.
And obviously
the films.
went on to make the best video game of all time, Goldeneye. Did you guys play Goldeneye?
It was good.
Do remember that?
I don't know about the best.
What a game.
That's a hell of
Yeah,
a
that
shout.
is a,
No, that was amazing.
it's a stretch.
At the time, yeah. At the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Let's
think that
draw
might
a
be-
line under at the time.
Yeah, rose tinted
And
glasses
Showgirls.
there.
I mean, I know I mentioned
yeah,
it,
go.
but come on, we've got Showgirls.
Was that actually that year, though?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Does she kill it? She doesn't kill him, does she? She just, like you say, she shags him like a dolphin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really remember this.
She's gone from
I'll save you time. There is no plot. It's just nipples. That's all it is. 2.5 hours of
she's
nipples.
gone from Saved by the Bell to literally.
Saving something else.
So trying to
save Private Ryan. Who knows? And the only other film I had on my honourable mentions list was Jumanji, which I have seen. That is the only film in that exhaustive
Because
list.
it's got Jim in it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Jim
Manji.
Jumanji. I like both of
Jim
them.
and G. You
They're
and
lovely.
Gav, Jim and G.
Jim and G. Yeah.
Jim and G.
Like Gina G.
Gina G.
But less shit.
And less ooh-ahs.
But more little bits.
Just a.
But as for the top 3, I mean, it comes to something when Braveheart is going to make it. But only because I think it's one of only 3 films I saw that year. So Braveheart is on there, but only because it's it's watchable, but it's terrible. We move on. Ace Ventura: Pet Detective is on there only because it's comedy, and comedy is my oeuvre. But it's your standard Jim Carrey nonsense.
Was that the first or number 2?
That was the first one, Ace Ventura.
Oh, was it?
Pet
Yeah.
Detective.
Okay,
and then
yeah.
When Nature Calls was the
Nature
second one, wasn't it? I think?
It was well over the top. But
It's 100% over the top. It's just a
The first
vehicle
one
for
it
him.
starts off as cliffhanger. Is that the first one? Or is that the second one?
Well, I think it's the first one, isn't it?
First one.
The raccoon saying falls from the.
Yeah.
It's the first.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yes.
I watched it
Yeah.
with Frankie, actually. He enjoys it.
Yeah, because you think it's basically going to appeal to young kids because it's
Yeah.
just a silly man being silly, isn't it,
Yeah.
essentially, and lots of funny things to look at.
Yes.
But it doesn't quite hold water anymore, does it? If you're over, 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the film we can all get on board with is Toy Story, which was just bananas good. It's
It was also groundbreaking.
Yeah.
yeah,
wasn't
it's
it? At the time.
26 years old, which is insane.
I know, and it was first Pixar, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But it was, as you say, Dale, groundbreaking. It was just. It was so clever.
I remember
mad.
we went to the cinema at something silly o'clock. It was something the late showing.
And you're going to watch a cartoon.
To watch a cartoon,
Yeah.
And it's unheard of to either not fall asleep, not remember it.
Yeah.
But I remember watching the whole of that film and being like fixated.
Yeah, absolutely.
And essentially, it's a kids' film, and why the fuck we watched it at that
absolutely
time?
mad, isn't it? I imagine there might have been
It was
something.
packed.
Yeah, helping you out, but it was just so good. It was just funny and emotional and poignant. It's just you could always go back to it.
Oh yeah,
It's one of those films.
Not quite
which
number
is-
3 though.
I mean,
Number
it's
three
not
is my
number
favourite.
3 is so good.
3's my
I mean,
favourite.
3 makes me
And they should never have
openly
done
cry.
number
Yeah, no, you're right.
They should never have made number
It would have
Should
been
never
the
have made
best
number
trilogy
4.
of all time if they'd have left it at 3.
It was the
Absolutely.
perfect ending, 3.
Yeah, 3 makes me cry like an
I
absolute
think they're all
bitch,
right. I think
but-
they're all great in their own right. There's not much in them. They really
No, it's not much, but I think 3 just edges it.
Yeah.
Just the way it wraps it all up.
Yeah, when they're all holding hands, just going towards the.
And just the
it's
ending,
like,
like, kid going to
gosh.
college, things like that. You can all relate to it.
Yeah,
can't
it
you?
was the
Things
end of
like
the
that,
Yeah.
end of the journey, wasn't it? But, just so.
But yeah, the
good.
first one, he's brilliant. Great film, isn't it?
It's just a scene, isn't it? Just so many good voices.
And then just the start of Pixar as well, which went on to do so much more, didn't it, as well?
It cost 30 million to make. Do you want to know how much it grossed?
Oh, it's got to be like 400
It was
million or something.
395 million.
Wow.
So literally tenfold. Just crazy. For, as you say, Dale, a kid's cartoon.
Well, yeah, that's what it was, and I think I even went into it with a bit of a strop, like
Yeah, it would have been one of those ones. So why am I watching this? Yeah, absolutely.
when quite easily like Ballbag 2 was in the next cinema.
Oh, you
playing.
skipped it there, didn't you?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
like an
disgusting.
No
absolute
wonder it
hound.
made 400 million. That was your choice.
Oh, what one's going to see today? Toy Story again, or what's this? Ballbag 2? Let's go and check that out. But yeah, absolutely amazing film, and I love the whole franchise.
Yeah, I agree.
What the Ballbag franchise or the Toy
What
Story?
was Ballbag 3 though?
Just for clarity,
They do a trilogy,
Yeah, it's not
Ballbag with a vengeance.
up there.
again.
Yeah, again.
The vasectomy.
Oh, the last cut is the
The
deacon.
last car,
That's what it was.
The final cut.
final cut.
Director's cut. There we go. That is our roundup of films. We urge you to watch all of our choices.
We urge
I will,
you to watch.
I will make a promise now to watch both of those films
That's your homework.
before I die.
That's your homework.
That's all I can promise. Apparently, there's a lot on telly these days. We stock the largest selection of retired Asian military personnel in the UK. However, none of them are medically trained and cannot castrate your puppy or spay your cat. Please don't get us confused. We are Vets at Home, located just off the M25 at Junction 7. Visit our showroom now. Shall we rumble on and talk about the music of the year? Because it was another stellar year for tunes.
Yeah, man.
Let's sort of similar process. Let's maybe have we got some top threes?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Del, let's start with you this time. As Phil went on on film.
I'll give you. Yeah, I'll go my 3 to 1. My 3 is. I think if it had been nearer the time, so Radiohead, The Bends, I think is my 3rd. I'll leave
Great
that
shout.
one because I think Phil will give it more love than it's
There's
deserved.
a chance.
Number 2, Oasis. What's the Story? Morning Glory again. Morning Glory even. Yeah, great. So again, I'll leave that to Jim because I think you'll be picking that one up.
I think that's
I'm
fair.
not too sure. Some honourable mentions of Different Class by Pulp. It would have made my top 3, but as an album, the singles are great. But I think as an album, it's not. There's
The write-ups were
like I Spy. There's
yeah.
a few singles that are just not bit not weak, but it just I don't.
Yeah, I mean, Britpop was really in the whole ascendancy, wasn't it, in that year? But this was kind of the antithesis.
Yeah,
of
the
this.
whole-
It was. It didn't want to be labelled as Britpop. It was too clever for that.
Pretty much. Jagged Little Pill. At the time, I really liked it, but it's one of them albums I've really gone off, and I've heard it so many times. Paul Weller, Stanley Road, I quite liked a couple of songs off that. Another close one was the Lumberjacks, padded shirts and mini skirts.
He didn't come back to it like a shit Columbo. He caught us on the hop on that one.
Yeah, singles off that.
Oh, the singles, right? Yeah.
Ain't It Good to Feel My Wood? Sniffing Dust Off Your Bust, and I've Got a Chopper, Not a Flopper. Great front man in Jack Lumber as well. Yes,
very clever, very clever.
And no, but my actual number one, it won't be probably in any of yours top threes. Probably a lot of the listeners probably won't have heard it, but for me, this was a quality album. It's almost, I can almost play this all the way through because I just think it's so great. Is Olympian by Gene.
Oh, yeah.
It's got songs like Haunted by You, The Car That Spared, London Can You Wait, Still Can't Find a Phone. It's a bit of like upbeat. And again, Olympian is just, some of it is like great guitar, piano-y. It's haunting
It's Martin
lyrics.
Rossiter, wasn't it?
It's not. It's their best album by
Good
far.
song,
Yeah.
Is that the one with? Was that the one after that? What's the quite upbeat
What, with
Gene
Fights
song?
in Fit?
Fighting
Yeah.
Fit. Is that one?
No, that Fighting Fit's the one after.
that
But again, that
follows.
album's good. They've got about 3 good songs off of that, but the rest of the album's like lacking. But this is pretty much almost all the way through for me. And so much so that I remember at a festival, I think 2 years after, actually, having it wasn't even an argument. It was like it was a tantrum. I had a mantrum. I remember having it because Gav said Blur were better than Gene, and I remember having like,
Fighting
no, they're
talk.
not. And I remember like stamping, they're not better. And I remember like almost like, and I for whatever reason,
No
like,
windows around there.
Exactly.
Out in the middle of a field. Where's the nearest?
Yeah,
oh, damn it, they're all tents.
So
Probably Zed for
yeah, they're
He got a nasty zip mark.
yeah, no, like I say, I've always liked their songs. Their songs off their albums, but this were their albums. Their one like favourite album.
This
The
is their debut
Consistence.
album.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
So again, yeah, that's my favourite.
That's a great shout. Yeah, really, really strong list. Excellent work. Mr. Reynolds, let's go to your good self.
So I struggled with this year.
Really?
I did.
What, in terms of there was too much choice or just not enough?
No, because I was on a different path with you guys, as I think we've figured out. You lot were all very much the
You was kidnapping.
Britpop.
Yeah.
And you lot were very much the Britpop. Well, I seem to be a bit more. Well, I liked American bands, didn't I? I think I've figured out over the last few sessions we've done.
You
So
were
this
too-
was
you were too
dominated by British bands. There was
Yes.
nothing really
Yeah.
good American apart from I've got Alanis Morissette. So. I mean, I didn't like the Oasis. I didn't really like the Blur at the time. I don't mind Blur now. But although What's the Story, Morning Glory is probably my favourite Oasis album, but I still haven't got it in my top 3. It just misses out. You got things like Garbage,
Yeah,
actually.
Garbage by Garbage is a great album.
Elastica
that was
by
a good
Elastica.
album.
You got that as well.
Fabulous album as well. Yeah.
Supergrass, Usher Coco.
I really struggled. That was
that was
making
good.
it onto my top 3.
Just
That's
missed
an
out on
amazing
mine.
album.
But my top 3 are Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill.
Yep. Yeah, I'd make that right as well. I had that as my number 2.
Yeah, number 2 I've got.
That was basically-
You guys still listen to Alanis?
I tell you what,
No,
it was,
I don't.
It was the soundtrack to college.
Yeah,
so because of that long hot summer that we talked about earlier on, we were just always out in the field, and then you'd have people like playing it on like
And
radios.
It was different at the time.
Yeah.
She was different at the time. I
because
know
she was only
she's not
21
now,
when
but
she wrote it, and
it was
she was only
angry.
like 3-4 years older than us at the time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of resonated.
And
It was about a
what's the
breakup.
first song on there, like where she talked about shagging her ex, like well,
So
thinking of him when she shags.
Yeah, you ought
mean,
to
it
know.
was-
You ought to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just. I
This-
thought the lyrics were really good. I was like, that's
Yeah.
This
quite-
is when she breaks up with Ryan Reynolds.
Is that right, Reynolds?
Is that what it is? I didn't know.
She was going out with Ryan Reynolds, and it's about a
But
breakup.
yeah, I
to
remember
him.
it was a good album. I probably, like I say, I wouldn't listen to it now.
Right.
Some of the songs do annoy me, but I remember it being at the time. Oh, what's his?
Because this is
right.
her.
Can I just interrupt you guys? Imagine the album she would have written if she'd have split up with Phil Reynolds.
Oh well, fucking.
She wouldn't have had the chance. Phil would have broken up with her because she would have popped out to
Exactly.
get some bits, wouldn't she? That would have been it. She'd have had her stuff on the doorstep. But yeah, she'd done 2 albums before that, and they were all dancey stuff.
Oh,
And
was
this was a
that? Oh, really?
proper change.
Sort
It
of
was
change
just
of-
a real cathartic thing.
Is that a bit
for her.
like, you know how Pink started off? She started off like R&B and sort of a bit
Yeah,
and
quite
then
possibly,
she went
yeah, and
into
then she went into
more
that kind
rock.
of
sort
rocky
Just
stuff.
find that genre there.
But yeah, so there's a lot of good tunes on it, and it I mean, it sold well. It sold 33 million copies worldwide.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
it's
a big. Like I
still
say,
like Claire loves it to this day. Like it's like
I would listen to the odd song. I wouldn't choose to put on the whole
Nah,
album.
no,
I
I'm
think
the
that's what
same.
it was. It was of a time. but
Yeah.
it really
Yeah, I'm
takes
the
me
same.
back to college.
yeah.
Just
Yeah,
instantly takes me back. Like,
Same
as soon as
here.
you hear ironic or
Yeah.
one hand in my pocket or something like that, you just go, "Hey, I know I can like, almost feel the heat." Of
Yeah.
Well, I think it also
The
remember
field
the,
and stuff,
the
being
first time I
outside.
spoke to my mum about my first period as well.
So true, Dan.
It's true,
You
yeah.
never forget, do you?
No, I never.
Never forget.
It was ironic.
But my number 2 is similar, I think, to number 3, as in album wise, and it's pulp, different class. It's not a brilliant album. It's got some great singles on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they did.
But
great
again, I
singles.
wouldn't listen
I
to
would
the
argue,
album. I
you would
wouldn't be
argue
like-
that Pulp are almost a singles
I
band.
remember-
rather than-
Yeah, but it did have. It must be about 5 or 6.
5 or 6
really
yeah.
good singles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I just
Enough to make
Common
it.
People's
yeah.
massive.
But
That
his
wasn't it?
lyrics are really, really good.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
clever.
exactly.
And just the depth
Yeah,
it
like
goes into and stuff.
yeah.
I mean, when you listen
Like
to
Common
the Common
Peop-
People,
Common
on Brush
People,
and that, when it gets into that really
Yeah,
beaty
Common-
bit, that's amazing. Like,
Yeah.
like, when you're
Yeah.
dancing to that and you're just like, and then it's just building up,
Even,
and then just go bang. And
Even like sorted out for ease and wids, like
Yeah.
he encapsulates
do you remember,
what
do
that's
you remember
all
the
about.
album cover? Do you remember the album? Or was it the single, for
Single,
that? And
yeah.
it actually shows you how to make a rap.
Oh, rap, yeah,
And he
actually.
got up and got back. He actually showed
Yeah.
you like instructions in there on how to make a rap. It was just like bloody hell.
What, as in, you mean as in like a speed rap, not as in a like
You know,
a
like
nice
Dorito,
sandwich?
yeah.
It's just a really, really basic recipe.
like-
Here's some cheese. Here's some
chicken.
tomato.
Chicken fajita. And yeah, number 1, you probably guessed it, is Radiohead, The Bends. Brilliant.
Yeah,
I mean, that is an album I can listen to, and it was a bit of a surprise because the first album wasn't that good. Apart from Creep, obviously, which was massive, the rest of the album wasn't that good. And this it's a bit of nowhere really.
Yeah, there's some.
It's as an album I could listen to, I still do really. I still contemplate whether it's my favourite one. It's between that and OK Computer.
Yeah, there was.
I kind of change moods. I sometimes go OK Computer. I sometimes go to Benz.
Yeah,
There's not much in, although they're completely different albums
I was gonna say,
in terms of sound.
It depends on where you are,
Yeah.
isn't it, in your personal headspace.
But yeah,
yeah. I like. There's some really like. I listened to it the other day actually, and like you got. Is it called Nice Dream?
Nice Dream, yeah.
Nice Dream. I love the Bends because it's more upbeat.
yeah.
And
On
then
My
obviously,
Iron Lung,
yeah, you got and obviously
Fake Plastic Trees. It's great. Yeah, very good album. It obviously then paved the way for them to go on to do bigger and better things.
Yeah. Oh, that was
They did all
I
right.
just while we're on music, although it's not albums, 95. Although it's not going to be a big surprise, I went to my first gig, and what a gig it was! It wasn't just a gig; it was huge.
It was a super gig.
It was R.E.M.'s Monster Tour.
Oh, okay.
That's not bad.
That ain't a bad first
That's
gig.
not
is
bad,
it?
not
is
a
it?
bad one.
It's July the 30th. I think me, Nozza, Gentle, Steve, we all went down there.
I think that
Let me
beats
guess.
the,
You were wearing a brown t-shirt with a black star on it.
I don't think
I
I
think
had
that might.
Did you know that? All right.
I think that might beat the Southend Roadshow, Jim.
Do you know what? I was thinking back to when I saw my first gig, which was the E17 thing. At the,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was Milton
Yeah.
Keynes.
Well, actually, I don't know. Actually, well, we had a bit of love for E17.
Do you know what? I couldn't
didn't
even remember who else was on that same
we?
same bill.
It's too lost in Brian's eyes.
Well, let me tell you who was on this because this is how big.
I
it
bet
was.
this is huge.
So it was at Milton Keynes. So we actually stupidly went on the wrong night. So we had
What, as in when you didn't have tickets?
no, we just the next night was so much better.
Oh,
we,
right, so you
we
went
had
to the
Blur, which I wasn't into them, but it sounds good now. But they were okay, and it was like Belly, who were like an American band. Someone else I can't remember. The next night was bloody Radiohead. The Cranberries,
Wow.
Elastica, I think
that
it
would've
was,
worked, wouldn't it?
and it was
Yeah.
just like, fuck hell, we picked the
We
wrong.
pulled the wrong in here, lads.
Yeah. And also it was on like BBC Radio, and I remember Michael Stipe. I was listening to it the next night on the radio. Came out and went, "We sucked last night, so tonight we're going to make sure we're really good." I was like, oh, "Fucking great!" I went,
Cheers, lads.
"Did the wrong one," and now they're saying they suck. So fucking brilliant.
Double slap in the face.
Is that-
Did I get a refund?
Yeah.
Is that Phil Reynolds was here last night?
We sucked for him.
I mean, I didn't think it sucked. It was brilliant. So, but yeah,
It's not a
I
bad,
had to
not
get
a
it.
bad
That's-
first gig.
Daniel Milton's in the audience tonight. So.
We're going to be super good.
yeah.
Wowzers. Well, I've got a lot to live up to with a list. So let me... Basically, you guys sort of talked through most of the honourable mentions that I would even think about. So we touched on Blur as well, being The Great Escape. The Boo Radleys were released. Album,
Was that Wake Up Boo?
What was apart
just
from
called
Wake Up Boo?
Come on, kids. Come on, kids.
This sounds wrong.
It does, doesn't
Don't
it?
you remember that? It was shit.
Yeah.
It started like that. Went, come on, kids. It was just like really like.
And then suddenly it goes into a bit of a
Yeah, it was
thrashy kind of
just
thing, doesn't it?
crap.
It's really odd. But Green Day released Insomniac, and I was a big fan of Green Day at the time. So very enjoyable. But yeah, I Should Coco just misses out on my top 3, but it was a banger of an album.
Yeah, it was good, that was.
Another sterling year in music, let's be honest. And it keeps getting better, doesn't it? That's the thing.
Yep.
Decade keeps getting better.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Definitely
Well,
does.
we shall find that out next week, I imagine.
Tell you what people hate at dinner parties is when you turn up with a bird of prey instead of a bottle of wine, especially when you use the owl as a pepper grinder. Next time you go for a dinner party, grab an owl, fill it full of peppercorn, then twist its head. One or two things will happen. A, you'll make everyone happy with a spicy treat, or B, you'll break the owl's neck and be asked to leave. Choose wisely. Choose wise owls.
Right, chaps, good roundup so far. We've got some more listeners' emails and letters that have come in to us. Again, if you want to talk to us, you can find us on Twitter, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, or you can use the website, email address. Let's start these questions off then, shall we? Richard Dello, one for your good self. Apart from John Major, who was your 90s famous crush? That's Benny from Basildon. Who were you hitting on hard back in the 90s?
Demi Moore. I'm going
Wow,
Straight in there. So anyone from
and
Showgirls.
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner and Demi Moore. Yeah, Demi Moore is a great shout, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Jet, we talked about Jet before. Erika Johnson, that went with it. Yeah, I reckon I'll go with Jet in Lycra. If I could have Jet in Lycra, Frozen.
Like in Carbonite.
Are you keeping her in Lycra though?
Yeah, I'm keeping her in.
You're never getting her out of Lycra?
She's not allowed to get. She's not allowed to get into a dress.
No, but you getting her out of Lycra, or you just keeping her in?
No. Oh yeah, when it comes down to the
Playing hanging tough with her.
Yeah, we're hanging tough.
When it comes to the loving.
We come to the loving, yeah.
Just never putting a dress on her.
Yes, exactly. You know, no dress, Lycra,
So
strict dress code. Like dealing out the invites, it's Lycra only.
See,
Nice.
you meet her. You like her. You're playing hanging tough together.
Yeah.
You're getting dirty. She's in a Lycra. You're getting her naked.
Yeah.
You know, things are going well.
Yeah.
You know, you got a work do coming up.
I got work.
You got a work do coming up. It's like you know.
Dress smart casual.
Tie and thing. She puts on the dress. You like, get out the fucking dress. Put your Lycra on.
What do you think
look
you're
a
doing?
mess.
What do you think
that-
you're playing at, young lady?
Yeah, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Permanently just making her walk around in
Lycra, exactly.
Even when she's doing like the shopping and she's going down the freezer aisle, she's going to be absolutely.
Yeah, but how cool with it? Everyone's like, he's with Jet.
Jet's only getting the fish fingers in.
Exactly.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I suppose till someone comes along and tempts her, like the fruit of another.
It's very
Then
true.
I mean, it's a
That's,
good choice, Jet. Jet's a good choice.
If it's a homework assignment, we could really give this some thought.
Like a kind of a weird science, but for now,
Yeah, like
we could
all
create
weird
the
stuff.
guys,
perfect.
or like Stalker College, yeah. If like
Stalker
guys,
College.
I'm giving you this assignment to stalk like all your '90s icons.
Sounds like you needed to go there. The way
Sounds like-
stalking went
I think he did.
Well, no. Well, Jim,
Maybe that's why he
found
ended,
his homework.
that's why he ended the year at
do
CB.
you remember that weird collage that I used to have in my room?
Yeah. Yeah.
I used
I
to
like
have
when we talk about stalking, then you talk about
weird
collage.
collage.
That sounded really sinister.
Of human
I used to have
parts.
the weird collage of like the girls that I fancied, but it was girls that I fancied that actually.
Are these like you're taking photos of these?
No,
girls?
it was girls I fancied who looked like girls that I knew, but they was actually celebrities. So there wasn't actually sort of. So it was all bizarre. It's all really sort of.
So
yeah.
he'd have a picture of, I don't know, Jet, who would be representative of a person in real life
Yeah.
that looked a bit like him.
So on your collage, did
Yeah.
you have Jet, and then did it have the person who was next to it.
He did, but thinking back, the worrying thing is I also had pictures of the SAS up.
He's a massive fan of
Andy McNabb.
yeah. Anyone in a balaclava. He got really confused by the IRA.
He's going to have a breakdown himself.
For your collage, it had Jet, for example.
Yeah.
And it had the actual girl you fancied next to it.
No, just the celebrity.
Oh, right.
And it was in my head. It was almost
getting worried then.
Yeah.
No. I did have like some big telescopic lens or something.
Get out of the shower.
But it's weird enough
stuff,
anyway. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of information to take
Well,
in all at one go, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there's a later story where one of the guys, Paul Fry, actually slipped on one of my magazines where I was cutting out, and he broke his wrist. And but that's another story later on down the years. Yeah, where my dad almost had a fight with him at like 4 o'clock in the morning. But
I mean, so much to unravel, but I think we should probably move on and save that for another time.
Coming soon.
Phil, I've got a question for you. Justin from Lee has written in and said, can you build me, in the similar sort of way that we've just mentioned, like a Weird Science, could you build me your ultimate frontman from 90s bands? So give us sort of a 2 or 3 frontmen that you would like to merge into one super frontman.
What am I merging there? Like personalities or
you tell us. If you think like the dance ability of Stipe, for example,
you
versus
can only choose one part of Stipe, so.
the songwriting of whoever.
It would be probably the lyrics of Stipe, yeah.
Okay. So he's the wordsmith.
Who's the look?
Who's got the look of the front man you want? Also Stipe. Are we just saying it's Michael Stipe?
No, you can't.
I probably the look of 90s.
The look of, it could be. It doesn't have to be.
Or do you want like the delivery of
delivery of like,
Liam Gallagher with the so or the.
No, right. So
aggression
so I'll go for the voice of Stipe.
Delivery of.
I'll go for the lyrics of. Are we doing lyrics? I don't know. I don't really know.
I reckon we could say
So we go for the songwriting of
Monkhouse.
Let's go for the songwriting of Cobain.
Yeah.
Cheeky.
What's my voice song? And then, so let's go for physicality. Yes, something physical.
Who's the buttocks? The buttocks of Jarvis Cocker.
Yeah.
No, it'd be Bono probably. He wore a lot of leather, didn't he? So he did.
Yeah.
He had a sweat. You liked a sweaty crack.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah,
right.
Probably the buttocks of Bono.
The buttocks.
Bono's buttocks. It's like the worst cafe of all time.
Let's just throw in. Let's throw in
Bono's
dance
buttocks.
moves. Right, dance moves. Let's go. Let's go Keith Flint from Prodigy.
Oh,
nice.
Just
Left
nutter.
field. Yeah. No, I like
Let's go a bit
that. The energy.
Yeah.
It's not bad, is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, that's a fucking good.
That's not bad. That's a front man and a half.
good fun.
That's gonna put Mercury to the test.
That really would, wouldn't it? Yeah, very much so.
big
Man
time.
alive. I don't think he hasn't got the number 1 anymore, has he? He's been overtaken. Beautiful stuff. Oh, well, I hope, Justin, that answers your question. Let's have a look. What was it? Oh, another one for you, actually, Phil. Do you do public appearances, as we still need someone to turn the Christmas lights on in Grimsby?
I do, but I ain't fucking going Grimsby.
It's Parky up north, isn't it?
Wasn't that voted like the shittiest town in the UK as well?
Oh, was it really?
Like recently.
Apologies to anyone from Grimsby, but
Phil's building up his.
well, anyone from Grimsby, if it is, let us know.
Yeah.
Unless there's good money involved, then I'll change my mind.
Yeah, he's a cheap whore. Rich, have you ever been circumcised? And if not, would you consider it? And what style would you go for?
Did you get a choice?
Apparently, that's Sam Hernandez from Colombia.
No, I haven't.
International listener.
Thanks, Sam. No, I haven't been circumcised, but if I did, I'd go for the Alec Baldwin.
Which is dangerous with a handgun.
I guess. I don't know. I guess. I say, is it short? Is short back and sides an option?
Well, it's definitely short. It's all off, isn't it?
Maybe an undershave.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Do they like hold up like a catalogue?
A mirror.
Catalogue of cheeks. Catalogue of helmets. And you just have to pick one.
What would you want? Curtains, please. I love the curtains. Look.
What? What about you, Jimmy? You got any questions?
Not many that appear in here. There was one. Amanda from Sao Paulo's written in, weirdly. Quite a long one, so bear with us, listeners. People say I have illegal nipples and that my nipples are so big I could get arrested. They say that if I don't let them suck on them, they'll hand me over to the police and I'll be banged up for 30 years. Is this true? And also, can long nipples be used to break into blind children's piggy banks? Now, I'm starting to think Amanda from Sao Paulo is either mentally deranged or possibly a crank call. Let's possibly gloss over Amanda from Sao Paulo and move on to Jake from Battersea. I think this is more.
I think she should keep us updated on how she gets on there.
Yeah,
well,
I'd be interested to
30 years, she's got a lot of we'll have a lot of podcasts for you to listen to, Amanda. Phil, this one's back to you, I'm afraid. Jake from Battersea wants to know. Once in the showers at school, someone challenged me to a sword fight. Do you know what one is? And if so, did I make the right decision turning down our caretaker? Hang on a minute, I'm starting to think this one might be a crank as well. Maureen, are you vetting these emails? Ladies and gents, we're going to have a word with our...
Well, I'm guessing, we know what a sword fight is, especially when you're in a certain situation like the showers.
What's a sword fight?
I'm guessing it's, two penises dueling.
Dueling penises.
Whoever's erect first wins.
Last one out. Turn the lights off.
But but definitely, made the right choice.
Made the right choice.
Turn down the caretaker.
I think so. You don't want to take on a grown man in a sword fight, do you? Dangerous.
Really?
Dangerous time.
And plus, if he offered it to you, he's got the advantage.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Oh, well, he's
He
got the
obviously
keys
knows-
to lock up. You know?
Yeah.
Well, he already knows where this is heading. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, sure.
Good point. Well made. Well, that's the last of the questions, I think. So, keep them coming in, everybody, except you, Amanda. We definitely don't want to hear from you again, you strange lady. But, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or on the email address, info@notfaultyjustblank.com. Thanks, guys. Appreciate all your love. So that's it. That's 1995 in a nutshell. Hopefully it's jogged the memories of a few of you. Rich and Phil, it's always a pleasure to chat with you boys. Lots of fun this time. Do you enjoy it?
I did, yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah, great fun, mate. Always a pleasure, man.
Always a pleasure, never a chore, indeed. Okay, so we'll be back next time with our thoughts and recollections of 1996. But until then, keep your comments and questions coming in via the website or hit us up on Instagram, Facebook or Twitter. We'd love to chat with you. Until next time, though, bye for now.
Bye.
Booyakasha!